small house, simple life. Like my grandma was growing like in her garden, like cucumbers, like tomatoes, potatoes, cabbages. They have a cherry tree, and tasted so much better compared to like imported stuff from other countries. They use pesticides, they use chemicals, they use bullshit, like hormones.
Yeah, hormones.
Yeah.
Like even the sulfides that they push wine with here, a lot of people are allergic to the sulfides.
Oh yeah.
They try to accelerate they try to rush everything. It's like a microwave oven concept of life.
Hmm.
We'll just cook it fast.
Oh,
Oh, I don't care that it fucking just turned into rubber. Don't worry about that. Don't
oh,
let that bug you. So,
oh, I want to. I don't know if you can find in USA maybe from. Do you drink wine?
I used to drink wine. Yeah, a California wine's good, but it's still got sulfides in it. You have to
Mm.
buy
Yeah.
kosher wine. You have to buy kosher Jewish wine to get the sulfide free,
Mm.
or organic or something. But maybe they use sulfides in Europe too. But some people are allergic
Well,
to
if
it.
you honestly, if you buy a bottle like in a glass bottle, like from it will definitely have sulfide, but depends on the brand more or less. So if you can buy Moldovan wine, it's very popular apparently in USA. You can find it. I also bring from Moldova to UK when I'm going back home. But the best one
Yeah.
is the homemade, like but that one doesn't last, like if you need to store it in the fridge and you need to drink it in like 1 week, otherwise it goes bad.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically like an orange juice, like 2 weeks. If you like transfer from one container to another, yeah, you can store it like for 2 weeks, then you have to drink it. Otherwise, it's changing the taste because there's no chemicals, there's nothing inside. It's only grape juice, fermented grape juice, and nothing. And yeah, it's good stuff. I love wine, but I try to drink less, because it makes you fat,
Does it?
kills your
You
liver.
think so?
No, yeah, if you like to eat well and drink with wine, I usually drink wine just with food. I cannot drink on an empty stomach. I don't know. It gives me like high acidity, like cannot drink on an empty stomach. And yeah, if I don't move, work from home,
Yeah, you get
drink
fucked up
wine
on
with.
an empty stomach. You get
Yeah, yeah,
hammered
yeah,
fast. I mean, in the morning,
yeah.
have a glass of wine in the morning. That'd be a hell way to start it off over there. But over there,
And
so it's funny because so I grew up in the United States, and
mhm,
I went to Europe a couple times. Actually, went to Italy and I went to Israel,
uh-huh.
and I went to Italy twice because I went back. So my
Mhm,
sister married a guy that was stationed in Naples in the Sixth Fleet
mhm,
in about 1977. So I went there,
mhm,
and I was like, wow, man, this place is so dense. I mean, with downtown, the stores are just like 6 feet wide, 8 feet wide. I'm like, the next store is like 10 feet, next 10 feet, and there's
mhm,
slots, really tall slots, and then I'm sitting there with the sunroof open in this Fiat 500, this little tiny car, and it's
mhm,
sunny out, and I'm getting wet, and I wondered why. And I looked up and I saw people drying their laundry between the buildings downtown. And I
mhm,
thought, man, you don't see that in the United States. And that's just like, and all
yeah.
the diesel on the buildings, just the smell of diesel. I'll never forget diesel on the building. They sandblast the diesel off the buildings after a while. It gets so dark, and it's just a completely and compared to the United States looks like um, at that time they built buildings here that looked like mirrored buildings. Okay, the 1970s, and everything being
Mhm,
shiny was a big concept in the United States.
mhm.
It was a shiny era, I'd call it, 1970.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone
And
wanted
if you looked
to.
at you compare that to Europe, I mean, there's places here that look. Actually, there were places here that were built by Europeans. If you go downtown in the cities, it did look like you were in
Mhm,
Europe. But
mhm.
once the
Yeah.
suburbs was created and all the wealth was created that you have now, you see facades where they put up a fake facade on strip malls here to try to make it look like it doesn't look like just a fucking warehouse, because the United States is like a warehouse. Europe is like a tradition. It's just completely
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
shit. It's completely different mindset. And so I
True.
understand why the people in the United States want to import Europe, because they think, oh, it's so cute. But you can't, because this is the land of the free and the home of the brave and the ridiculous, because we can afford to do it. In other words, we figured out a way to, since there's so much real estate here, that we could just
Hmm.
kind of go, you know what, Ralph, why don't you just park that shit out back? Whereas I talked to the guy in England, told me, we don't just park shit out back here, dude. Everything's accounted for. This is a very small piece of real estate. So the fact that
Hmm.
you guys invited people from another country into your country, it just blows my fucking mind, to show you how liberally, emotionally based the do-gooders and the feel-gooder handouts, the people that want people to love them like a celebrity does, everybody's a celebrity now. Oh, come love me, come to my country, invade my country, why don't you? It's just fucking nuts, dude. It's like you're at the hotel and you're saying, everybody come to my, there's a party in my room at the hotel. Yeah, but you don't own the hotel, bitch. You just destroyed this hotel. Why do people in Europe think that, just, you don't, now Moldova doesn't have this problem, do they? They're not inviting people in, are they? They're like, fuck no, this is in lockdown, dude. In fact, it's so locked down we can't do shit either. Isn't that what's going on in Moldova?
Honestly, so I left my country like around 2015 because my girlfriend was already been in UK. She called me like, come stay with me. I was living in Moldova. So 2015, we didn't have any immigrants. Now, and people were emigrating from my country, from Moldova to Europe to like for work. Now is like we get immigrants from India, Pakistan, coming
Really?
to work. Yeah, I got surprised, Apparently they start earning, like they improve the economy and people are coming to work. Unbelievable. So apparently it's getting better, but with if Ukraine falls, a war with Ukraine, Moldova is next. So and yeah, it's a very small country and we don't have any defense. And yeah, it's I'm not going back because I think I'm gonna,
So
go.
you're just visiting? You're gonna come back eventually? No.
I'm not so sure. I like it here. Like weather is better. It's not that hot and it's not that cold during the winter. So now in your area, winters are. Do you have snow?
Yeah, I like the snow. Honestly, right now
Yeah,
it's when the leaves change color. To me, that's kind of like the magical part.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's it's just kind of the seasons. If it wasn't for season changes, yeah, it'd be rough life, because the test pattern that they have in some places where it's the same all the time. Oh man, I don't know. It's tough to do
yeah,
Christmas, right?
yeah. Um, I love snow. I used to, when I was a kid, it was snowing every 1st of January. We had snow, and it was so peaceful, and quiet. When it's snowing, the sound doesn't travel through air. That's why it's so quiet and peaceful. Now it's like that with global warming,
Yeah, I like that.
winters,
Yeah, I really do
winters.
like that snow factor. Plus, you can see if somebody robbed your house. You can see tracks and stuff.
Yeah,
Because you kind of like and there's less bugs and there's no mosquitoes. It's just amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it really is the best. And plus, they say, oh, everybody's such a fucking pussy now. Oh, seasonal defective disorder, dude. I'm counting on it being dark out. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to. I want to sleep. I want to hibernate. I want to sleep extra. I want to really rest up for the fucking hot days of the summer.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I decided to do that. So this is probably the 14th year I've decided to live like that. So I live without air conditioning.
Hmm.
and I live upstairs, so it gets to be 95 degrees in here, and
Hmm.
to me, it's a free sauna. So if I had a bunch of money, I might be inclined to, or is very lazy. I might be, I'll get an air conditioner. I don't live like a rich person. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to. In other words, the king got gout. I mean, people get sick from being too wealthy. You can see it every time you see it. Uh, I mean, from too much luxury. Like you can have money,
Yeah.
right? But if you start saying, "I got a smart car, I got this car," when that shit fails, you're fucked. You cannot MacGyver your way out of that. You can't really. Um,
Yeah, it's very painful being on the top and like fall down to nothing. Because like that's that's why people like strive to to achieve something and they want to go on top. But yeah, I'm okay where I am. I mean, I want to buy a house, but I don't want more from life.
yeah, no,
I
I
don't
had
want like because
right.
yeah, I like forex and stuff. But with loads of money comes of lots of responsibilities. You
Yeah,
know.
not to mention the fact that I used to own about.
Yeah.
So I had this bass guitar I owned.
Hmm.
It
Yep.
was it was a 6 string bass guitar. It was probably
Hmm.
5,800 new. I bought it used for $3,600. This thing's a fucking amazing guitar. And I kind of
Hmm.
felt awkward playing it. I thought I'm not even that good to play a guitar this good. And uh, I sold it because I wasn't playing it. And I thought, yeah, it's just. And then I thought I can only play one guitar at a time. And then I just owning it, like just having it, I felt like a burden. Like I should be playing that thing, dude. That thing's
Hmm.
expensive. You should be playing that. You should be this constant nagging in my in my mind of, yeah, you should be playing that thing. How come you're not playing that thing? Yeah, shut the fuck up. So I had to just go for what mattered, and of course, as you get older, you realize, yeah, none of that stuff really matters. All that matters is your
Yeah.
mindset. Can you manage the insanity you see before you? I was going to ask Anthropic, but I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to have it tell me I should call an 800 number. Last time I asked one of these questions, I said, "Why is the world so fucked up?" I said, "Why are people so fucked up?" No, but I wanted to ask it. How do you deal in a world of insanity? Like, in other words, people saying completely inverted logic shit all day long and actually getting used to that as being the norm. I said, how do you what, huh? And whereas you cannot get away with that shit in your real life. In other words, you can't do brain surgery without some kind of logic behind you because you're going to blow it up. You can't trade without logic. You can't fucking drive your car without logic. So how are you able to let go of that shit when it comes to politics and say, oh, yeah, just, hey, how would a government, yeah, government grocery store, that's what we're missing. This way everybody has really cheap shit. Like, how the fuck, where did this come from? But it's funny how it's coming back now because once people realize that they actually have to do something productive, they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Fucking A, can you please sign me up for the handout program? But then the whole place atrophies, and now you got enough wealth. There's enough billionaires now that those
Yeah. Yeah.
people can actually. Now they want to go after those people and say, well, tax the trillionaires because I really don't want to work now. Look at this guy, so fucking rich. And that guy will always pay their meal ticket in some manner, maybe not to the degree they want it done. But isn't it funny how this, if you go back 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you've never seen a time on the planet where everything's in real time. You open up Twitter and you can see, oh, look at they're bombing these fuckers. Oh, look at that guy just said this thing. And everybody's responding in real time to one mindset. It's a little dangerous, right? Because what about the important shit? Like, did you see that building in New York City that they built?
I
And
know.
so Mondami wanted them to convert the housing. So they said, we're going to take a 13-story building that's an office building, and we're going to build another 10 floors on top of that, and we're going to put apartments up there. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. the people that design it are the same people that inspect it and say, good idea. So it's ready to go. They start building it, and just 2 weeks ago, it started to collapse.
Oh,
The office structure, because it's not
yeah,
designed
yeah,
for fucking water beds and all this shit they're gonna put on
yeah, yeah,
top
yeah.
of it. So it starts to crimp and fall a little bit last week, and the union guys, Democrats, come out from the steam fitters and they say, dude, the people that are working on this job are completely unqualified. They've been sued multiple times. They're complete fucking hacks. They have zero certification. I'm not a big believer in over certification, but these people have nothing, and they've been sued before. And they go, oh, don't worry about it. We got this one. And they built it anyways. Now they halted building on this $33.6 billion project, dude,
Oh,
to try to have a giant socialist handout to the public saying, "Oh, we got housing for you. Look what we're doing over here. We're repurposing. We're so efficient and so tree hugging. We're gonna repurpose this 13-story office building. We're gonna build fucking apartments on top. It was never meant structurally for. If you ask any architect, he's gonna say, yeah, that it doesn't have the structural. It was built to be an office building. That's why it's got fucking thin ass walls. Dumb fuck. It's not load bearing. So it's just so funny to watch this thing. I love watching it. It's like Atlas Shrugged in real time. I'm watching this whole thing cave in. Hire another socialist. Get another fucking. Get rid of borders and get rid of language even. Let's just grunt at each other. That's what we should do. Grunt for money. In fact, we'll come by your house, and if you can't grunt, well, we can't pay. You don't get no money, right? But did you
sorry.
think you think you'd ever see? I mean, this is the kind of shit from dystopian sci-fi books. You ever thought you'd see it like this in real time happen in front of you? Like in your lifetime, did you ever think you'd see the whole thing just implode?
Sorry, 3 billion
That's a long
for
question.
just one building?
So yeah,
Or
that's
just like
building.
a project?
It's a project, and it's the first of its kind. It's been going on since they've been working a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're supposed to open it this summer, right? There's supposed to be people living in it this summer, but guess what? It's behind schedule because they keep getting fined. They keep on shit keeps on breaking. It's not even done. There's like 4 cranes. There's like 6 cranes out there right now. So there's no way they're gonna have it done by. It'll probably never get done.
Yeah.
It'll never get done, and taxpayer will pay for the whole fuck up. And so the guy that said it's okay to go with the project, he was hired to be a yes man, and just do it. Just do it. I don't care. Oh, there's a problem, dude. I want to see it done. I want to see it done. I don't care how you get it done. And this is what the world's come to. Oh, dude, $3.6 billion on one fucking building. Are you serious?
Yeah, 6,000 millions. People don't realize how much money is this. It's like what? It's made of gold or what? And yeah.
No, I just find you don't see, but you don't have. See, the thing is, for you to do a new construction in Moldavia, it's kind of like fix up what you got, right? I had this guy. I bought a German. I love European shit though because I understand how it's built. Like the women are built good. The car, the Volkswagen, I bought a made in West Germany. My first Volkswagen built in 1985, before they took down the wall. And
those were indestructible.
Yeah, I mean, this was a Audi, Volkswagen. This is fucking. It was the Wolfsburg edition. It was a Jetta, dude. This thing, even to the last day, there was never any play in the steering. It was so simple and so clean, and I thought, oh, this is the shit, man. Everything, this is amazing. And then
Apparently they were.
And then my next car, I thought I'll just buy another Volkswagen. That'll be a no-brainer. Big fucking mistake.
Yeah.
I bought a Volkswagen GTI. I thought that's even better. I kind of want a hatchback. I bought it without even driving it. I thought it's gonna be just like a Volkswagen. No, Sir, no, sir, not. The wheelbase is too tight. The thing was hopping around. It was a NAFTA car. It was It was a Mexican German car, and all the Mexican parts fell off. The glove box didn't open after a couple of days, and yeah, it's kind of sad. And I knew then we were kind of fucked, And the Europeans, you know, I took the car in to get it fixed, and this guy, I call him Gunter, German guy working at the Volkswagen dealership in the United States, said to me, after it rotated the tires, I said, because I never thought about it. I go, yeah, can you rotate the tires? I waited too long, and they were cupped and stuff. And when I came back and I said, the car rides so rough, he goes, never rotate the tires. What the fuck are you doing? And I thought, yeah, I guess you're right. Just put new tires on the, wherever they need them. And then he said to me, I said, there's no heat in the floor. There's no fucking heat in this jet on the floor. He goes, it's by design. I go, what? He says, yeah, it ruins our boots. I don't know if he was kidding. Then I talked to this other German guy. I saw in my dental lab was all German equipment. I bought the highest end shit you could get out of Germany. And Cavo. So Degussa. And I get this shit, and I call up the guy at the tech support, and I go, what's with this oven? There's no buzzer on it. Like when it gets the temperature, it doesn't beep. He goes, you don't know the temperature of your oven? I said, what? This is a $2,500 oven in 1983. He says, I said, well, I guess. I mean, I don't want to stare at the thing all day. But he kind of said it like, I don't know, that there was some kind of fancy setting on there. Then he says, well, we're not Americans, we don't buy new shoes every year. We just have them resold. In other words, the idea of Americans maybe did that in the old days, but we just buy new shoes. Do we throw out the ones? But over there, it's not like that. It's like stuff is really, oh, well, that's Grandpa's coat. That's Grandpa's coat. We're just going to have it fixed. We're not going to buy a new coat. What are you, fucking stupid? Over here, we're such pigs at this point, dude. I just buy a new, new shoes every week, New shoes every week. In fact, some guy robbed me and killed me for my shoes. my Nike Air Jordans, that $300 gym shoes. Now, is there anybody in Europe going, well, I need some $300 gym shoes, but in America, people are so wealthy. And I'm also thinking about this other thing. What do you think of this idea? People talk about inflation, right? Oh, the government's printing too much money. Let me ask you this. What do you think of this theory? People have made so much money trading Bitcoin, they went out and bought shit. Maybe that causes inflation? Did anybody ever think of that? Like, why is it always the government causing inflation? Dude, if you just cashed out your Bitcoin position, how are you going to tell me that's not affecting the cash flow? The amount of money in circulation, let's call it that. Maybe not inflation, because that's really psychological. I mean, that's a scarcity. In other words, that's a supply and demand issue. Shit's expensive because you think it's worth that. What if it's not? What if people stop buying these $100,000 brand new trucks that drive like shit, that are just computer failures? What happens if that happens, right? So, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud because I don't talk to many people, but I thought maybe you'd have an idea since you're from Europe. You'd have a 360 degree, 180 degree version of it, but isn't that what's going on? Oh, so you got the people, the immigrants are coming into your old country, but there's something else going on, right? There's the fact that the access to things are, like, did you see those people that invaded Spain? Some of them got they went there and they
from
go
Morocco.
But
from Morocco, like today.
But look
on
how many
Friday.
people. Look how many people once they went in, they said, you know what? There's nothing here. What the fuck did I think that was so special? And then they went back, right?
Yeah,
They go.
that was
They go. This is overrated. Spain's overrated. In fact, Spain should be hurt. Feelings hurt. Like, what? You don't want to invade us now? We're not good enough to rape? What the fuck's going on here? I mean,
That
what
is
is.
scary and funny, like 50,000 people rushing into a small, let's say, it's not even an island, it's like part of the continent.
I get the drama, but it's kind of like a panty raid. What is going on over there? Do you think people are just kind of like the pressure's off? Because look at what happened over in Venezuela. Look at Trump is like a wrecking ball. I can think it's part of the wake of Trump because heads are spinning. They're like, wait a minute, he's blowing up the towel heads. He just
Mhm.
captured this guy from. He's going to go to Cuba and shut that down.
Yeah.
And
What's
we are
happening
the
to
we are the policemen. We've been the policemen of the world,
Mhm.
unspoken for years. So why don't we just fucking clean some house before Trump dies? He's going to go. Let me clean this shit up. Um,
Mhm.
and it's kind of rattling the cages finally, and people are waking up, going, "Wait a minute, maybe I'm the baddie. Maybe I'm the baddie, right from that movie. Maybe we're the baddies. Maybe we're the bad people." But thank God there's some type of mirror being spun in these people's face because it's about fucking time, don't you think? I mean, how long have we been waiting for this fucking thing to cave? It's like waiting for the yen to sell off, waiting for the
Oh,
dollar
yeah.
yen to break. I mean, some
They,
serious intervention on that pitch, huh? I mean, coming in the middle of
yeah,
the night.
700 points in
I
two
was in the
days.
middle, so I was in the middle of talking about the yen trade before the stream crashed,
Hmm.
and I was talking about the 1 minute chart on Friday. Opening bid was down 50 pips, up 50 pips in 1 minute, and then down 100 pips. Like that's the opening kind of price action, and I'm like,
Ooh.
yeah, you could have traded that with your finger on the trigger, with the grid limits ready to cash out. Ching 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 ching. You could have done it, right? Um, the quants are they could never do it. The quant thing is. I looked into the quant thing. What a fucking mental masturbation club that is. They barely make any fucking money. Have you seen some of this shit? I saw a guy saying, like, you gotta understand, dude. Not that my ego's not huge, but these people, the professorial, they're professors. They think, and they're like, oh, I've studied this thing. We've run machines learning on this and that. Yeah, but you don't know. You don't know anything about trading. You're sifting for opportunities in um, a chance matrix of
Mhm.
of Monte Carlo theory, and this is just it's no better than high speed trading, thinking that you're going to execute just before somebody else, and you're going to skim the market and make X. Yes, I get it on paper that makes money, and with enough machines that you spent how
Mhm.
much on these fucking machines to machine learn. Dude, I looked into it. So Anthropic and I went down a EA highway. Well, the only thing Anthropic was able to do for me is prove that my limit grids make more money than just saying, well, we're going to go because it's in an uptrend, I'm just going to buy. That robot loses money in a complete 45-degree angle down. Mine, at least, in the right dynamic range of the market, because they're hard set targets, okay? They're
Mhm.
not dynamic. They are trailing stops, which actually makes money because I don't typically trail stops, but I can see the use in it because it's kind of like, let's lock in the profit, right? Now, the robots I've built, and I've built about, I'd say 50 so far with Anthropic I probably built, before Anthropic, I had
Mhm.
just the crude stuff people built for me, and I back test them and rewrite the script, hard coded fucking entries, dude. Like all this shit, I don't know if I ever published it, but it's there. I basically, oh, the market drops in 4 hours and retraces in 4 hours. It's going to capture this one particular hard written code. Then that code drops every fucking 4 hours, and the script lasts 4 hours. So it's a constant exposure. Or does it last a day? If you set it to a day, it makes more money, but it could blow up the account because it's going to overload that grid. But the thing about it is every 4 hours it's dropping. The market's moving every 4 hours, so it's actually like an envelope, like a pure envelope entry out in time in the future. And so that entry technique does make money because to say you're going to trade breakouts 80% of the market's chopped, so it's going to obliterate any breakout bot. Any trend bot's going to get his ass kicked because the market only trends 20% of the time. So the only way to do is grid trading. Now, if you go into MT4 platform and go to the free shit inside of the marketplace, inside of the terminal, and load, there's a couple grid bots in there, high grid. You load that thing, dude, that thing makes a mint. And if you're lucky, it won't blow up, but it does blow up on the back test. But that thing fucking makes so much beautiful money, and it's actually doing its own kind of martingale or like a factor multiplier. If you don't go too high, just put a low percentage on that, it will fucking get into insane shit without any care of trend. Because this is the quant theory of trading. But the quants are trying to build one holy grail bot. No. If you want to play that game, you need 10 okay bots that you know how they what they do when they do it. And this is the one thing. I did ask Anthropic, can you make me a robot that at the end of each day clears off all open and pendings and starts off fresh? Now, I haven't tested that toggle yet, but this is I didn't even... So I have testing fatigue in a sense, like that's just to live alone, me and MT4. So when I go for a test session, I change a lot of setting changes, and then I test it, and then I go, wait a minute, that's looking good. Then I realize, well, it's just curve fitted, but with the right market depth. And there's a guy who's famous, and I have his books actually. Is an old Jewish guy, Kaufman, Perry Kaufman, who is I wouldn't say quant, but he's using classic, this retracement. That's the most money making. Even AI says the most money making you'll ever make is swing trading and retracements. Mean reversion systems, right? It only makes sense. Like, I just discovered that right away because I thought, why am I trying to come up with a bias so I only trade in one direction for that day? To me, this is like kind of like a person that hunts on the weekend. I got my scope and let me see if I can find something to kill. Dude, I want to net the whole I want to come up with a fucking daisy cutter and kill everything alive. I don't have rules like that. I just want to grab, if there's market noise, can I make money from it? That's the quant theory of life too. But if I could cash out all positions at the end of the day, in most circumstances of my life, I would have made more money because I'm very stubborn for the swing. Like, I want the continuation. So to let your profits run, part of me is losing money. So this week I'm going to be trading the 5-minute chart with my time filter because I'm just going to scalp. I want to scalp more because the swings, I'm getting too old to swing trade. I can't wait for the fucking... I don't know how long you're in these trades, but I don't... Like, in other words, the Euro trade, dude, I was building that thing forever, and like it finally... So I'm sitting there, and NFP is about... not NFP. FOMC is about to come out, and I'm in this trade, actually. I'm still in it. And I'm like, this is the perfect setup. If I would have just waited for the setup... If you saw the setup on the chart... I'll put it up on the YouTube here. Or I'll put it in the thing here, either way. But you look at that setup, you go, that's the most classic setup. But you have everything loaded the wagon there. And how big were you in on that trade, right? So psychologically, the size of my trade, of a swing trade, is going to be slightly smaller than a lot smaller than a like a big giant. Oh, I would just do this one trade and get up. But I typically don't like to do that trade because I know, or at least I think I know, that we're really going up in the end. So what do I care about the news? And it's already baked in, so to speak. So I got the 1 hour chart here. Let me show you on the 30-minute chart. I can show you just before the announcement of FOMC Wednesday. I'll put a rectangle on here. So here is the on the 21st of July here. This black part is the. I could put it on the stream with you on this Discord here. Let me just see if I can do that. Because nobody's watching but us. Let me add the share screen here thing. Because it's too hard to watch YouTube. It's too much lag. Share my screen. Oh shit. Share the application here, maybe. Does this show up in the live thing on Discord here? You see it there on Discord.
Yeah.
So so I drew a rectangle here. This is the Asian. So what I do is at 4 o'clock this thing goes black on a 5-minute chart. Well, it's 30-minute chart, but on the 5-minute I'm playing back in the demo. So this, so I had to do this because this ICT, the idea of the backfill, the stop hunt, liquidity, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And a 10 pip window. So I chose a 10 pip grid, and I put 50 pip handles are blue and 100 pip handles are white. Because what I wanted to do here, and then I have these extenders that Anthropic wrote for me, that it takes the last known low and it projects it into the future on this little skinny line, which is, I got to make that darker, the background, because I don't want to change the, I don't want to rewrite the indicator. So I rewrite a lot. I didn't realize how much time I spent with MT4, but I spent a lot of time making indicators and fucking with the colors and the thickness. You rewrite it, take it off, reinstall. It's so much fucking work. But trading's an art, in my opinion. It's not a fucking goddamn quant shit. You have to really believe in your trade, in your entry idea. So I do believe. I'm a true believer. So here, so now you can see the lines better. It extends every. So I had a guy write this. So on the back end of this, I don't know what's here. It is this big black line here. This is the void fill that somebody wrote for me, and I had Anthropic update it for me. So if I go to the 4-hour chart, you can see this big black line on the top, right at the 50-yard line, that we hit. Yeah. And I would have cashed the fuck out of that trade, by the way, because that's the seller's window up here. So for everybody, there's a sell. Yeah. If you trade wick to wick, I don't know if you're the guy who asked me about the $50, $100, $1,000 account, but the guy that is asking about that, you have to commit to at least a 20 to 30 pip window of sell grid limits here and put about a 50K in there. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm doing.
So because you don't know the day that this is going to happen, but this is a weekly chart in the sense that every vertical line down here is a weekly. But look at this fucking entry. Now, you probably wouldn't have had it, but imagine the guy that says, you know what? I always place a sell limit just in case on the high of the last week, going back 2 weeks, and I put about 40 standard lots up here. Because I'm planning on, if that happens, I think I want to get out when it takes out this. Now you think about that fucking trade. Just think about that trade, dude. Is anybody doing that trade, and has anything to do with the move? I put a 100 period linear weighted moving average on here just for fun, because people like that shit. Like people say stuff like, "Well, look at this entry here, dude. You could have got in here with my course I gave, my $100 course. You took it right in Asia, which is the gray session here, I think. You get in right there, dude. Look at that trade. Trend trade. Yeah, I got it. Those are trend trades right here. Asia got in. Look at, made fucking 100 pips, 50 pips. I got it. But what do you do on this day?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're doing on
did you
Friday.
sell? Did you sell here? Yeah, I sold here during Asia. It was a downtrend. Oh, didn't work out though. Huh? Weird. So I know this cherry picking shit is real, and I would never take a trade based on that, because I'm taking the trade because of I do have a hotkey. One hotkey here. Let me clean up the chart. So here, I would take this trade all day long. I just top tick Tommy, the high of the week. I'm getting in, you're getting in, but I'm getting in at this price. You're getting in maybe oh, I got a signal to sell and I got in late. And besides, where the fuck are you getting in? All these fucking people on YouTube, they never show them trading. So
Yeah, they only
they
they only
only
show
they,
the
yeah they, I mean they talk about the trade. Yeah, you would have got in here. How big? Where was your stop? Well, you put your stop up here. Okay, you're still risking 20 pips on your 40 standard lots. And how often can you do that trade? But let me go back to the fucking the trade here on the amazing. It's just a classic trade just because. Let's zoom out one level. So here it is. They're going to come out with the news, right? And the news has already come out. There's some news that came out earlier. I can't remember what it was.
not important.
Before they came out with the but what it was is, to me, was when we came down here and we were just dicking around here, and I kind of wanted it to go up at this point right here. And I'm like, oh, we got to, and this is actually 9:30. It turns red. Stock's open.
Yeah.
And we start to go up. Oh, was that it? So I'm on the right day here. And but this was the big threshold. What's going to happen? I got to go to a smaller time frame. Turn off this March forward thing. Yeah, so back testing. I'm always looking at the is this an advanced chart? Okay. So everybody's sitting there. Yeah, so if I go back to that point in time, whenever you turn that thing off, it just goes ripping back like a million fucking years. Okay. The cool thing about this template, if I zoom out all the way, I can see every session still. I can see it perfectly. So you see this kickback, which you cannot see unless you go to the 5-minute chart. But when you zoom in, it just explodes the whole fucking thing. Okay, the devil's in the details. That's why the 5-minute chart is the key. If you're a sniper and all that shit, right? Look at this. Look at this drama here, dude. I don't think people realize it, that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when they came out with the fucking news,
Yeah, they pushed
it was
up.
here. Look
And
where
then-
it came back to.
Yeah.
Came all the way back to the starting gate. So, in other words, I'm in here. I'm buying, like, see these little subtle ticks here. Here's where I'd be buying on limits or at the market. That's what I'm going to be doing next week. Buy, building a position here. Buy, with a 10 pips stop to make 100 pips, 50 pips. In fact, I'm typically long because I bought everything below here, just as a typical rule, because I already made 20 pips on this burst, dude. This is on the. Here's the news. Here's 8:30 in the morning. It's 9 o'clock. Now it's noon. It turns red at noon. And they bid it down into 1 o'clock. Look at that. They bid it down into 1 o'clock, a little bit more. Then here comes the fucking, it's inching up right here, and then they come out with the news. Dude, it's fucking crazy. There's still follow through left. So now the volatility's huge. This is 4 p.m. This is 4 p.m. You could have put sell limits up here like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And traded at least for another 40 back to here, but typically I'm buying. I just have a hard time selling. Like I'm able to do it here with if I do it on the 5-minute chart, because I can see the trade. But putting the buy limits down here below 4 p.m. in about a 15 pip window here.
Yeah.
Load
That's
up.
also a round price.
You can still ride another fucking insane. Now this is the trend trader's entry, so to speak. If I had a 300 period moving average on here, it'd be a perfect fucking entry. But even the people that say, oh, after the breakout, I get in after the breakout. Okay, cool. So it breaks out here for 10 pips. You could have bought these pullbacks here. This is the news coming out. This is 8:30 in the morning. I've never seen a chart like this in my life, dude. I can look at this chart all day long and go, yeah, dude, I know where I should, at 8:30 in the morning, why I should my finger on the fucking trigger like a sniper. Yeah, that's the dumb shit setup entry. Pulls back to the breakout point, takes off. Fuck yes. Even got your goober fucking trend in here. Confirmation. But you got to get the fuck out up here, dude.
Yeah.
Because the ride's fucking over. It's over, dude. And how do you know it's over? Well, just look at the next fucking day. Down
Friday was
100.
brutal.
Like, dude, I mean, it's see, people just. I think the 5-minute chart. People ask me about the 1-minute chart. Now look at the 1-minute chart, which is really kind of amazing. The 1-minute chart. You can see all the trades on the 1-minute chart here. Look at all these little baby lines drawn. And if I was on a, so this is maximum zoom out. Look at some of these moves here. You're in and out of this trade so fast. Now this is Friday's price action, so to speak. If you're buying below Europe and the news in a 30 pip window, of course you have to have the right script in there that's going to cash out of something to the floor of that box. But even that's a great fucking trade if you size it right. So the people that want to make that trade, I say commit to buying this. Fill half of your bank. See that it does make money. The question is, how big is the box you're going to buy? And I'd say I have a fear of missing out. I have a cure for it. It's called, I'm going to buy everything from here down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be my first, is to commit to buying every fucking handle on one case just for the fucking feeling with a I'll put a 100 pip stop on every ticket in there. None of those would have got stopped out. Look how this thing precisely rips back to the floor of here, of that fucking box. On the news. Then the stock's open. It's fucking coming into this shit. Structured trading has to be the biggest fucking gold mine in trading. Why people don't structure trade, I don't get it. They got a Gartley pattern. Gartley patterns are fucking fantasy shit, dude. You may as well build a fucking government grocery store and tell me that it's the best shit you ever tasted, better than a fucking Moldavian soil. There's no fucking way, dude. Look at this key entry. This is where you really load the wagon, is this undercut here. That is the wick. Why is there a wick there? Because it just, dude, there's like, how painfully, you can, on the 1-minute chart reveals everything because I'm using the time filter of, I know what time of day this happened. When you look at a 1-minute chart, before I had this indicator, what time of day was that? How could I have traded that? You could have had your fucking finger on the trigger here when, actually, what I like to do on this thing is have a grid drop. If I use the old school grid drops and hover them over the chart and drop them, dude, you can't get better. You're like, oh yeah, drop it right now. In fact, I'd redrop it here because look at the retap here of a 10 pip window retap. Comes back. Comes up, initial, comes back, and then rips. And then when it gets when it rips through this floor, it goes total auction right here. Dude, people do buy here. I would add to it here in a sense, like if I'm really not in the right size, I'm like, dude, let's add. But you have to consider cashing out once again here at this fucking key level because a lot of people did. Look at the fight there. Look at the battle, the breakout. The confirmation traders that say it broke out, buy the pullback, they're buying under the floor here. This is a 1-minute. People ask me to talk about the 1-minute chart. Yes, if you have your finger on the trigger, script in hand, or you're watching this and you're a swing trader. I watch the 1-minute chart if I'm in a swing trade because I go, hold it, dude, hold it, because look at, they're going to cut to here and everybody's going to, not everybody, but where do most people get out on the 1-minute chart? Top tick Tommy, right there. European top tick Tommy, which you could have sold on the 1-minute chart. Just either on limits or just nailing it like the ego. My ego wants to nail this every time this ball. Now that my ball, which I only have the current prices on here. This is where the market closed. Actually, the spread's very wide here at 8.5 pips on this broker. But the point being is all I care about is the current. Where's that ball right now? When I look back in history of the 1-minute chart. If you can't see these trades, then you don't know. I don't know how you can't see the entry here. You have to buy new lows these are all great places to build a position before. This is 2 o'clock in the morning when it goes powder blue.
Mm-hmm.
When it goes deep blue, that is 3 o'clock in the morning. Europe is opened.
Mm-hmm.
If you're selling because you think it's in a downtrend, you'd be selling above this. Everything's a short. Europe's a short. London's a short. Hold that trade, and where's your most logical exit is going to be the bottom of that box, which is only going to be 12 pips. But you really want to start cashing out below here and going the other direction. Now, I used to have a hard time with that trade because being an all-or-nothing person, I'm a perfectionist. I couldn't handle the compromise of being slightly long and slightly short. Like, no, I'm short that, but I'm going in. But I've decided, you know what? I don't care anymore because I'm trading structure. If I'm still short here and I haven't cashed out of those, I'm not going to stare at my fucking equity versus margin usage and say, oof, it's not within the range. No, I'm probably just going to like that. I can't do the exact math on that. I have to accept the slop factor that I'm just going to buy into the plunge anyways. Or I never, like, for me, it's easier because since I'm not buying and selling, I'm only buying. I only see the buys, right? My brain only sees, oh, there's a buy, there's a buy. And so at the end of the day on Friday here, in the euro, and everything was coming unwrapped there, the fucking yen fell 150 pips at 4 o'clock into the close there.
Yeah.
So if anybody saw that, it was quite high drama. And that's going to be fun to trade that next week. You have to trade very wide, though. So you got to trade with a 150 pip stop on the yen now and trade very lightly until it calms back down. It becomes a fucking nice geisha girl again. Because right now, it's fucking nuts, right? I mean, it's like absolutely like a psycho case.
Yeah.
So the 1 minute chart here. Look at these cool little. I love another thing this indicator did. It kept reminding me, dude. There's all these There's all this stuff to get crushed down here. Those are all the support levels, and since the market made a new high, unless you go to the bigger time frames, you don't really see that indicator show up. I forgot I turned off the thing there. But anyways, that explosion. Let me turn back on the auto forward. But yeah, like, so for me on this chart here going into next week, it's no brainer for me to just say, and this is the fear of missing out coming in again, of course. But I have to fix that. And the way I fix it is I buy a 1K on a limit, and I go, you know what? My subconscious thinks I'm in the market. It doesn't know how big I'm in, and being right or wrong is important now. Just as important as if I'm in $1 million position as a $10 position, being right and wrong has the same weight. So this is my trick, my mind trick, and this is why I trade on scripts and limits, because it cured me. I go, you know, I'll just accept it. Okay, I put a grid in there. Let's see what happens, as opposed to I gotta know what's going to happen. I don't have to, like, the one big buzzkill for me going from being a person that said, oh, I'm smart, I can figure out where the market's going to go, to accepting what Mark Douglas said about, you don't have to know where the market's going to make money. What? When he said that, I go, are you fucking retarded? You don't have to know what's going to happen next to make money. What is this guy talking about? And then I realized, well, he's talking about doing 20 trades, not one trade. Yeah, because I don't have to be right about everyone. Why you want to be such a perfectionist? That's my biggest fucking problem. All or nothing thinking. I'm either all short or all long, and of course that's kind of the hybrid mind. I could teach a 5-year-old to trade because he has no bias. I mean, he has no rules of nature yet.
He's not damaged by YouTubers and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, think about all the stuff that in other words, you think. Mark Douglas' famous quote in his book. The guy in Chicago, he's sitting there. He's watching the 5 o'clock news, and there's a man on the street, and he's wearing a sandwich board that says free money, and everybody's avoiding him. He says, why is that? People are afraid of this guy because they don't believe in free money. But in the market, there's free money all day long. So this big battle in the mind to accept the fact that it is that easy. You're just not doing it because you're thinking, but if I do that, then wait a minute. Real life's not like that. Yeah, no shit. In real life, being right and wrong is a product of real life, because you would never go into an office meeting speaking the wrong language, right? There is a right and wrong, but not in the market. And it's weird.
Mhm.
I mean, it's so weird to think about. I don't know. Somebody was asking in the stream or something. Oh, what do you do with these losses? I mean, you can't do anything about it. Like,
Yeah.
in other
Part of the
words,
business.
yeah, I guess in other words, well, what do you consider a loss, right? Like so, if I lose $1,000 or $3,000, I'm thinking actually I fucked up. like I'm too stubborn. Like, in other words, that's a swing trade typically, because a scalp you'd be
Mhm.
out right away with your 13
Yeah.
pip stop. But the swing trades, I've made $16,000 in swing trades before, so I have to say to myself, yeah, but of course now you're tricking yourself. And remember the time you made money doing this? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But we're on a 40-year low. So when you saw the dollar yen hitting a 40-year high, remember a couple weeks ago, and then it
Mhm.
crashed through it a little bit, and people are like losing their mind up there, and it just kept going up because it had nowhere, like nobody knew what it was worth at that point. And look at that intervention finally, and I think they waited till FOMC to really intervene. They did some interventions a little bit, and then they came in like a ton of bricks there. And it just, it's up for grabs. But that shakeups happen. If you look at the dollar yen, when I started trading in in the 2000s, there, if you look at the chart of the dollar yen, here I'll bring it up. It's phenomenal. And I was in a micro account actually. I was in a nano account buying $400 positions. I didn't know anything about forex. I'd only traded stocks at that point. And I'm on my phone, my Windows phone, and I keep buying. I'm in my car, and it keeps dropping. You go, fuck, I'm buying more. And I'm down like 28 cents on this trade, dude. There's like $300 in the account. It's a nano account. I blew that account up in like at the end of the day. No, in 2 days I blew up that account buying $400 positions, like thinking this looks like a better price, even better here. It dropped even more. And when it got down to this big wedge, actually it took years after that. It was about a year after that it finally stopped tanking. Oh, gosh, I have to take off this grid though. Let me zoom out for the maximum zoom out. Oof.
Yeah.
I can't
Yen
do
is
it.
vicious.
Here, I got to take off this grid. This 100 pip grid's just blowing my brains out. But where's the? If you look at that wedge at the end of 2000, I remember they changed the. I'll never forget. I was sitting there. It was 9:30 at night. I was looking at it going, dude, this thing's gonna pop. Like, how many more years and months can this? And there's a setup at the very, very bottom. There's a. It's just unbelievable, the setup on this thing. I gotta show it to you. I'll get rid of this grid. It's just frying my brain. So if you zoom into the yen, it's really quite a historical feat. But if you look back here in 2000, was that 2020? That's the same setup actually. My data doesn't go back that far here on this chart. Oh shit! I gotta go and change my history maybe. Oh, not enough bars on chart. Oof. Fucked up. Anyways, it got down to this thing and it finally exploded, right? And it never looked back. And I don't know what, there was a thing called a carry trade. I think that's what made it dripping down into a wedge. So the carry trade was pressure on it. And it was like this guaranteed trade that people were doing in a sense until it unraveled, right? Until they unwound the carry. And you know how brutal that can be. But yeah, Forex is bizarre because there's no limit on it, I'm going back as many bars as I can, aren't I? I'll go back 25 million bars here. Bars in history. Max. No, this broker doesn't go back that far. Anyways, it looked just like this here. The same kind of situation where, don't forget this here is, this wedge is how long? This is yours. Every vertical line is so this is a 5-year wedge. It was just like that, but it was the year 2000, if you can imagine. Here it is, 2008, right there. There it is. It's here. So this 2008, I'm sitting there, dude. Now I gotta tell you, I lost so much money. This is when I started trading forex. Was in probably around 2007. You know, that retail started. You could trade at 1,001 leverage here, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing's got to bounce. Like, when's this thing gonna go up? When's it gonna break that trend line? But for me, it was on the weeklies. A little higher res view here on the weeklies. So check out the weekly version of that. Let me just drill down. Let me move this chart shift forward a little bit. Oh, I can't examine that one area, but here it is. So on the weekly, it just keeps coming down, and I'm like, holy shit! But I'll never forget. It was about right here, and this is when the Bank of Japan intervened about right here. And it's 9:30 at night, and this is a weekly chart. So this is 1 year. In the end of that year, and if you draw your first trend line, you could actually draw in here a new lower lows, so to speak, higher lows, so to speak, because that's what this line does here. Holy shit! And I'm like, this was 9:30 at night. I go, oh my god! And now, at that time, I think it was bid up. They'd already bid it up to here or something, possibly. And I said, if it takes this thing out, it was 9:30 at night. I thought, should I call friends and family? I said, if it takes that out, and if it takes this out, I'm not kidding you, because we were right at the border. Then if it takes this out, I'm like, dude, like, what in the fuck's going to happen? Even if it takes this out, I'm like, dude, like, what is going on here? So basically, well, I'll say this is a down year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down, and then just like 1, 2, 3 years up. Fucking A. So that's the compression trade that the swing trader's dream is, that you're buying into this thing, you're building it. People are going, dude, why aren't you selling? It's going down. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I'm a perfectionist. I'm stubborn. I'm contrarian. So these are things that are really bad for money making, because unless you get the size right, the only way to compensate for these attitudes is to get the right position sizing and the right timing and the right, like, know where to get the fuck out. Know when it's over. Because if you would have said to me, well, I'll just fucking, oh, I like what you said there. I'm going to buy at this trend line. Oh, okay, that's great. But, like, this trend line was so steep. Was this sustainable? Like, don't forget, there's people that drew this trend line and they go, holy shit, we're going to the moon. Or they did the worst thing you could possibly do, I think, in my opinion, because it really sets you up for utopian goals, is the channel traders. And I get it, right? They channel traded gold. They think it's going to go $7,000. You're a channel trader on gold. It's the equidistant trend line here. Oh, shit. Did I lose? Oh, I moved my tool, So this is the big problem here with the channel traders. They're like, oh, dude, but can't you see, like, it hit here and it touched here and hit here. It's going to keep going up. Now, you probably get two measured. You get two hits. That's all you get. And then the whole thing dissolves. You know, that's why you can't get too wrapped up, I think, in geometry. And but here's another wedge forming, another pattern, so to speak. But do you really have? Are you going to live long enough? You can have your account open. Are you going to have your finger on the trigger? How big are you going to trade this pattern, by the way? This beautiful fucking, how big were you in on that trade? Like, so, it's so funny because this tequila guy, a friend of mine, he was trading with me back here, you know, and he had a demo account, and he was in this trade, or one of these kind of, it was a Swiss franc actually. He was in a trade like that. And he stopped, he didn't trade for like, 2 years. I said, do you still got that demo account? He opened it up. And he had something like, it was maybe a 10K, you know, small position. This thing was worth like $2,000. I was like, dude. And we both admitted we never had the patience to hold that trade that long. Like, if I knew that trade existed and I was up $1,000, I would have got out already. It would have never made it to $3,000. So I don't think people realize is that just because you're making money trading doesn't mean that you would have held through the whole fucking thing. Even when you back test these ideas and stuff, would you really held that? You probably would have got out Because you're like, dude, I just
No.
made $4,000. I would have got out because I made $4,000. I don't think I'd hold it on principle. But anyways. But yeah, that yen thing blew my mind. And then that's why I decided I'm just going to go with this. Now I'm playing back the market right now. Look at this this is the news just came out and stocks just opened. I would have been long here just because of this.
Yeah, new lows.
I would have scalped the news. I would have made my 20 pips, and I'd probably be running very tight buy limits now that last 15 minutes on a button. I continually keep dropping 15-minute, which is about this long, expirations to add to this thing because it's probably going to go up. So right now I'd be starting to get filled on that little rack. I'd still be holding some of my swing trades maybe now. And that's when I do look at the margin levels and I gauge it. Oh, I could probably add some here. It looks like, and maybe there's something coming out at 10 o'clock here, which I didn't mark off. But I'm thinking about doing is having a 10 o'clock bar because there is news at 10 o'clock. But I don't want to micromanage it because I think it's all about it's price in the market. Look, now it's still cashing out. Look how it does that smooth move up and it see how it waddles back and a smooth move up. That's the real tick data, dude. That's what markets do. They pull back in little chops and they stream up. And another place you could sell, which I'm not a big fan of this, but there's been people cashing out at the last known floor, I suppose, on this 5-minute chart. 1-minute chart's a little bit too much, I think. 5-minute chart, you can see this. This is 1 hour here. And on the 5-minute chart, you could still buy the new lows here. You still be like, dude, this is ripe. This is the island under the floor. This is the trap under the floor. And if it goes full auction, it will be taking this out. So maybe you're holding your position to take this out. There's sellers up here, right? So the cool thing about this playback is I can speed this up now. And I can test myself. Did my trade plan work out? This is a way to rehearse for the market. I'll take it up one more to 31. I don't know what 32 is the top. 31 speed, good. So we cashed out of something here. Somebody probably went short on this little fractal here. Okay, now I want to put buy limits in. I still got my pendings down here. The deeper they are, the longer the expiration. So for the rest of the day, I'll be buying down here anyways. Maybe I scalped out. Now, if you're waiting for... So the only thing that matters is that current price ball. I just love this chart. The candlesticks, dude. I know people are looking at that shit. There's another problem. The mind, the group think in trading is so brutal. It's really hard to get out of that box. But I'm thinking what I would do. I want to buy that pullback. Look at that. Just pulled back 20 pips, dude. I just added to it. And it came back to if you're a sniper, you'd be like, I'm waiting for it to come back here. I'm gonna pull the trigger at the market. Now it might actually go down. This is what I really find hard to believe. It's gonna just tank now. That was the sell, dude. You missed it. Look how it nailed that 100 period moving average. But I'm okay with that because I'm okay with losing money too. I got deep buy limit grids down there too. I said I'm gonna buy again. Look at it. Buying again. There may be it may just tank now. I don't know what's to the left of me. Actually, this is kind of a blind trade because if there's a 40-year low to the left of this this price here, then maybe I should be careful, right? Because if it goes below here, it's going to go to hell. Yeah. And I don't know that now because I'm only playing back a segment here. But look at this re-entry here. Look at that. Another chance to buy. Now you thought it was all over. Oh, I can't buy that again. No, it came back and retested that fucking price. I think that's the other thing that we humans can't accept the fact that it may take out the high of the day, but why did it have to come back here? And I always joke around. That's like, honey, I left my, I left the crack pipe at home. Can we go back again? Oh my God, how many times we have to ruin our crack picnic with your crack pipe? Yeah. So, and look at all this mulling around. So I figured the quants are saying, well, we can make money in here. Well, I could too. I have my 15-minute grid there. I scalp. I'm just making 10 pips. I'm not making a lot of pips here. So that's the bread and butter for me. Can I make 8 pips? Can I make 13? Can I make 14 pips? In a big enough position that I can afford to wait for it to play out and take this out. But yeah, if you have the right script, if you have the right order, you have a ticket in your hand ready to pull the trigger on these trades or to drop the limits, then Yeah, you could totally make a living trading. You have to babysit the 5 minute chart though. In this scenario, I'm talking about here, the one and done guy, he went to work, he went to sleep, he put his buy limit here. He's got a target of 40 pips with a 20 pip stop. His ratios are good. Yeah, he comes home. Maybe he made his target. You go, look at that. But there are people that are sitting in front of this 5 minute chart going, dude, I'm trading every fucking zigzag, and they can do that too. I'm just gonna go to hyper speed here now.
Yeah.
That's every ticket. It looks choppy. Let me zoom out. The graphics can't handle it. So we did go through the floor there. So this is what people can't. So here's where I buy below the low of the previous day. Look at that. You have to have so much money, dude. It just dropped how many pips? Now, if you wait to the end of the day, I would actually buy below the low of the previous day here. It might take this out. But I'm typically, to be honest with you, I'm a stubborn person. I'm buying this whole plunge. I would have made 50 pips here. Now, this may come all the way back to here. But it looks like we're going to go lower. It just looks like it's too big a fucking... But you got to test yourself mentally. Would you take that trade? Can you see yourself placing a limit grid and walking away? An 8-hour limit grid. Look, it just nicked it. Just nicked the low of the day there. Look at that fucking... Look how they just nicked the fucking low there. Now, this could have been FOMC. I don't even know. That's probably non... That's... Now, here's the news here. So I don't know what that was. That was probably... Why is that... Yeah, right. So here's Europe. That's the news right there. The news just came out. So you see how they're cocking the gun here? They pull that back, and just nick the wick from... Dude, this is from 2020. Nothing ever changes in these markets. And you'll sit there and watch that and go, really? Is it going to just go 40-year low? No. And look at that fucking rip, because that's fucking how many days of pent-up buying. Building the position under this orange floor, which is the last known piece of news right here. That whole fucking day, dude, I'm on my swing trade in my brain's going, dude, this is going to be a fucking swing trade from fucking... And it all happens right there. Now, there is a guy sitting there, a sniper. Dude, I'm waiting for that fucking entry. He actually had an early entry there in Europe, and then when the news came out, holy shit. You just made almost 200 pips in about an hour. It's over. You waited to the end of the day, you made 200 pips clean. That's 100 pips from here to here, clean on the 100 pip handle. So if you can change your dynamic range, if you can adapt to the market conditions, the next buy is obviously, I'm buying everything below there. The same fucking stupid trade. You build up in Europe, wait for the news to come up, pop. You still made pips. Then this is more subtle here. The trend traders like it when it's nice and quiet. You got a doji here. Doji means it's quiet. It's more subtle here. Look at this beautiful fucking trend trade. People are pulling the trigger on that, but then it's kind of over, right? Don't you think by that time everybody's milked that fucker? Don't forget, structurally speaking, if you look back, anything above here, it's like, are we in the trap? Are they trapping bulls up here? They trapped these guys, didn't they? The people that Europe got trapped, smashed into the ground. But this is my trade typically. Like, say, I'm only trading one direction typically, so I could make more money if I was to buy here. Just buy that. I'm selling here, I would have made more money, but I'm typically just buying. This is my trade. And into the top of that box is first target. And then maybe it goes further, follow through. But look at this. Now all that pent up, all those lines here could totally crush now. And maybe so they did trap these guys up here, right? At least for back to the starting gate. But yeah, I put the 100 pip up there, the 100 pip grid in white and blue on the 50s, because I want to know how much money I'm risking, which grids to drop, and what's going to be a reasonable trade plan. So look at that beautiful fucking trade there. The same concept. You're buying everything below here and maybe in golf. And maybe you can't take this out because you came back on enough fuel here. But look how they just Tommy that thing, dude. You can learn so much playing back the market with my magical template. I put the link in there, I think.
I think it doesn't work, your links.
Oh, fuck. Hightail doesn't work? Damn it.
No,
Really? Fuck. Why?
I have no idea.
It's a real website. Am I one character off? Let me try it on my thing. My links don't work. You have to pay to get the link. I probably took that. No, I don't know. Anyways, you could just have Anthropic do it. Just tell Anthropic, make me a time bar that changes color. In other words, it'll just, it's really easy. Just tell AI to do it. But look how it's got, now the void's starting at top here. I love it. The first time you can see the void on top, but look how it's crushing the, it's just, you know, but like I said, it's the pip window. Look at that fucking trade. Dude, it's just fucking, when the news comes out, to me, that is the easiest trade in the world. Look at that. All this drama is so tradable. I would recommend having your finger on the take profits key if you're overloading, though, because you want it to go flat after that drama.
Yeah.
And then it comes into Asia here. Look at the retracement. Look at that. All the way back to where it fell out of bed. Isn't that just magical? I mean, it's just hilarious. All the way back to the news, dude. And then down. And then up again. Look at this. It's the bookends. This drift here, I traded that drift on the yen the other night for 150, a very small position. I was in a standard lot, and I made $500 on that yen drift like this. So so here's 7 o'clock at night. It turns gray. So you have a 3-hour dead window in the black. But isn't it just retarded? Don't you think the markets are just so retarded that we're overthinking it? Don't you think that most people are overthinking it?
Yeah, I have a friend like this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
You're still friends with him?
Yeah. Don't have many friends, but
he's on his fifth wife though.
No, he's alone. But
at least he got that right.
Yeah. He always, I tell him, look, you need to buy or sell with scripts, with pendings. And he is telling me, no, I want to watch the 5 minutes.
Well, you can watch the 5 minutes. So I just slowed it down a little bit. So this is a little more reasonable speed here. Now, in the 5-minute chart here, if you had to make decisions, I love this. I wish the 5-minute charts were really this fast. I'm just at 31 speed here. So let's think about that. Your buddy's on the 5-minute chart. He's probably thinking stuff like, he's probably trading at the market. He's trading at the market, so he's like, well, where should I pull the trigger? And if you're waiting for confirmation, so you think that you want to buy this, right? Well, let me see what happens first. He's not going to buy here because it's going down. So he's going to wait for it to break out. Or does he put a buy stop right here at that?
He just on the market, but he is always trying to risk as little as possible.
Oh, tight stops.
5 pips, 7 pips.
Oh God, no.
Maximum 10 pips, and he wants
on the guppy.
He wants a 50. No, on euro. I mean, any markets.
On the guppy. No, I knew a guy that was trading the guppy. That guy I was telling you about, the guy that wanted to trade a prop firm. He said, write me a script with no take profit. I said, really? He goes, yeah, just to stop. And he ran tight stops. And he was on the 1-minute chart. He didn't want to lose any money, but he kept on getting stopped out with 3-pip stops and shit with no target. I just thought, dude, it's you can't just show up. Like these girls at the bar, they have brains. You can't just go, I want to taste test every one of them. Dude, they're people. They're not, I mean, they're a piece of ass, but not really, right? They're actually human under that. So funny.
Yeah, so he wants to take at least 50, 40, 60, 100 pips, And he doesn't see the structure where you need to take it. Like, I know, that's greed, huh? Super greedy. He wants to risk nothing.
I should read these comments. Some guys, I don't know how the guys even in the. I can't tell who's in the chat. You see, I finally look at the stream here, and some guy said,
"Yeah, hightail works."
He said, "I remember you." The Discord. I'm gonna try putting that fucking Will they let me put it in the comments? Because the comments are really strict. I guess I can do it because I'm the guy here. Let's see. I'm gonna try to put it in there. The indicators. Yeah, but so when you trade with your buddy, okay, still works. Yeah. So he said, I remember you absolutely caning some guy years and years ago. Yeah, I did. This guy named I can't remember his name now. I came across so I met a lot of traders doing the stream there. It's a trip, man. How do you know this guy? You know him in the real life, though. You go to his house and he trades. Do you know this guy in the flesh, or you just know him online?
No, I've met with him like 5 times.
Is he
Basically,
he's about your age and
he's a
stuff?
friend.
Friends from way back.
Yeah, friends from the university.
So you guys started trading the same time? You stumbled, you came across Forex or something at the same time?
Yeah. He showed me Forex and stuff, and didn't pay attention at that time. But he finished economics and.
So he's a fundamental view of the markets that they should be at a certain price because of fundamentals or something.
Probably, but mostly he looks at the technical analysis. I don't think he's into like global political stuff. I tried to meet with him. He always refuses, but he likes to chat, like texting. And
was he just use a moving average or RSI or something? Or?
No, he is just like watching price action.
Oh, so just strict candles, like this is a hammer, and
Yeah.
this is like a bearish pattern, and this is a. So is he doing like a flag and a triangle, or is he just doing a candle by candle?
I know he likes to download Forex courses and watch them and try to learn something new from it. But
like a new trick of the trade. Yeah, I find that I watch those guys do that stuff, and I'm thinking, man, you know what? At least AI said to me one time. I asked AI once. I said, "What do you think of my robots? I've been writing this. I've been doing this. I write it so hard. I write it to the point where AI says, you know what? You got to take a break, or you have to buy more credit." So I just have to start a new chat, right? You have to start a new chat because it actually looks at everything you ever wrote, and it's
remembering every like.
I do have memory set on there, so I don't have to keep on telling you that I'm fucking nuts, because it keeps saying you're nuts. I know that, dude. Look at my history. So, but it says to me one time. I said, there's a lot of robots out there. I said, what do you think of mine? They go, well, yours is actually a high level robot. I said, oh, really? Because the MACD robot that comes with, I'm running here just so it doesn't fill up the screen with bullshit. I'm running MACD from MetaTrader. Mm-hmm. Because if I run one of my robots, you just see nothing but trades. You wouldn't be able to see the chart. But the it was kind of funny how AI was able to assess that. But this, the stuff that people are, the tricks that like this movie. Look at this. It's just like again. Look at that. Look at the fucking. This is probably since that's 9:30. This is probably stocks have already opened. That's FOMC right there, dude.
Yeah,
that's FOMC. And if you zoom back, look at the pent up situation there, though. To me, everybody knows what's going to happen to interest rates. So look at this trend line here. I guess you could do a technical analysis here where it meets fundamentals in the sense that, like, look at this. That's and you're like, dude, like, and now, and don't forget, listen, you auctioned under the floor here. But look at this. Look at the backlash. Now, this is the next day. This is what really blows people's minds about the market, I think. They go, dude, I got in here. FOMC came out. They said interest rates are going to be X or there's no change. Rips all the way to here. Most people that are humans thought, oh, it's going to keep going up. No. Yeah. All the way back to the starting gate. So sorry. Oh, you thought it's going up? Then here's there's no second chances in life. There is in the market. You could have bought here, could have bought here.
Mm-hmm.
Your range, in a sense, your range trade. I know there's moving average on the screen, but that's you distorting with your template time. The truth of the matter is, it's a forex exchange, and they're exchanging back and forth in this range. Think about it. It's just ranging. Yeah. You're putting all that weight on that. So your buddy with the technical analysis, look at my trend line. Look, it doesn't mean anything now. Look, it's taking out the floor now from back there. What the fuck? It makes no sense, dude. I don't care. On no level does it make sense. The only thing that makes sense is if you buy down here, that trade always works. Huh, that's so weird. If you sell up here, that trade always works. I'm sorry, this was... Don't you think that's just... doesn't that just blow your brains out? It does mine. I'm like, you mean I could have just sold up here? Even... regardless of what the fucking interest rate announcement was here, doesn't fucking matter anymore. It doesn't matter at all. This is completely... That's why, to me, fundamentals are bullshit. If fundamentals mattered, then this would have some kind of matter. It just came back to that? And now it's dicking around between the range after that news? And what happens if it hits here? Are you going to sell above here? That's my biggest question. Would I sell above... especially for me, because I'm not a good seller. I got to learn to sell above here, dude. Sell above the news. Sell above anything. Any wick on here. I just, to me, it's, I just, that's why I did the YouTube channel. I go, why isn't anybody talking about this shit? And it was so funny because ICT did a video and I talked on top of his video. That's what blew his brains out. That's why he was wanted to sue me and everything. I'm like, yeah, we all see that fucking... This is the news, right? That's 8:30 in the morning, dude. Look at that. Took out the low of Asia. Gee, what a surprise. It kind of like bid it down here. Stopped everybody out. Went up. No shit. Duh. And here, look at that. Bookends. That's why you don't need to know which direction the market's going to go to make money. You can place your buy limits here. If they don't get filled, okay, guess what? You didn't lose money. You get your sell limits filled up here. If you did not take profits, if you didn't take the scalp back to the starting gate of what? At least London. If you didn't take those few pips, you got your face ripped off. So there was somebody that was, I don't know who he was. It was I can't remember his name. Everybody says that. Like, so people say to the biggest comment I get, man, what do you do when it just keeps going up? Now, if you're trading with the 300 pip stop, you're loving it. You're going, dude, they're filling all my tickets. Look at that. Look at that fill.
Need to have deep pockets.
Don't forget. I just want to. Anybody who's a fundamental trader, don't forget. This is FOMC pricing right there. Does it matter now? That's when look at that. Look at that news. Now, this is my favorite trade. Here's London. There's this big hole down here. The news is about to come out. Oh boy. That is my favorite news trade. You can see structurally on this chart, looking back 5 days on this 5-minute chart, going, dude, I got to do more of that trade. I got to do more of that trade. Like, give me a fucking 20 pip stop to make 80. That's the day to put the 80 pip target in. Actually, what I do in that situation, I got 20, 30, 40, 60, 80. And if I'm sitting in front of the monitor, I might chase it, but I'm thinking, no, this is kind of scary. Like, I was in the dollar yen. Last night I was in the dollar yen, right? Mm-hmm. On Thursday night, it's drifting up, and it got to be about midnight, and it got so erratic. I go, I got to get out. And it got unstable, dude. It was swinging into every 5 milliseconds. It was moving 10 pips. That's a lot. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, this is so illiquid. So I had to get it just like this. Look how spastic. Now that's the close of day right there. Now, to me, I'm just going to think out loud here. The obvious trade to me is like, it's always been for me for years, just buy down here on limits. I don't even care about the structure. I'm just going to buy low because it's low. Why would you buy down? And here's the big obvious why you would buy low is that right there. That's telling me I got to put a deeper order bank in here. Okay, just got it filled. I got 10 pip targets built into this trade block though. Because if I don't take my 10 pips, dude, I'm going to tell you what, the greedy part of my brain says, yeah, what if you held that whole position, but I cannot afford to do it. I can't afford to do it. So I interlaced in that box. If this ends up being a dud, at least I made money during the box battle. And then if it falls through the floor now, if it doesn't engulf, so the swing trades are built into there. As soon as it gets to here, I got to start cashing out and think about shorting everything above here. So it's very kind of, you should be able to buy and actually, if you can buy and sell, that's my goal, is to buy and sell without even thinking about if it matters. Because the only reason this is a sell up here for me, it's my chance to cash out on the buy down here. I'm still a seller, but I'm taking profits on when you're getting in short. And hopefully you sold above that, right? Now, these trades, once a week, they'll go after the high of the week. And this ICT talking about the weekly, but he's not treating the weekly the way you should. You should think about selling above that weekly, at least for the scalp of it. And you could have made at least 30 pips here over and over again, because look how it keeps probing into that high. In other words, you could re-tap that trade, right? It's not now the set and forget it guy cannot refresh that trade. But if you have, I almost want to have, so I saw a guy he had AI write an indicator. Actually, it's my buddy he did a video like 10 years ago. This guy out of England, his name is Clevesis. He's a programmer who wrote that grid drop. He wrote that. I said, can you duplicate this thing? And he wrote 10 iterations of a limit drop, buy and sell, no matter if you drop it high or low. So I ran that script for years. And he sent me a coffee cup with Gartley patterns on it as a joke. He had a printing machine for his, he has like a pet supply or something, where you have like your dog's name on a coffee cup. So he put Gartley patterns on a coffee cup and shipped it from England to my house. It's hilarious. He kind of like he goes, what's your address, man? Oh yeah, so I get this Gartley pattern coffee cup, and I thought, dude, that's fucking hilarious, because it's almost like saying that the AI girls are real, and so we knew it was a joke. And so anyways, that I go to his channel the other day, and it's still there. He still does videos, and he still writes code, and he still has all these cute little things, and he's so funny. He's got his band playing in the beginning. He's got the clock on the screen like I used to. You could tell he got that from me, and he's got his own templates, and he's writing this thing. And I see he's got this rectangular extender, which I thought that's kind of a good idea too. Although it has to disappear after a while, but instead of having these lines go forward, it would just take this and extend a box forward, like a shaded in box. So draw this as background, and then I could see, oh, we're in the box. You know what I mean? It's more obvious to the person that really wants to see it, and you see how it's pushing down the void fill into the box. And I think that'd be more helpful. I wish I had the scripts that would drop a box, a colored box like that around the scripts would be cool. Because right now it just drops arrows, which I'm not a big fan of, because I have to delete them. And I have them there for confirmation, because I want to make sure that the scripts are running. I could drop it without arrows, but then I got to keep track of, like, did I drop those? But see how in and out of this box here. And if that box extended forward, or it extended forward for backtesting purposes for so many hours. But look at the drama here. Look how it wicked both ways here. So if you're a biased trader on this day, you got clobbered, right? This is so whipsaw, dude. There's no fucking way. You gonna trend trade that? Oh, come on. That's just pure chaos. That is insanity. Now, when you zoom out, it puts more context on it. I love zooming out on the 5 minute, because then I can say, oh, dude, like, look at these structures. They're so easy to see here. My God. Who's not selling above here? Who's not buying below here? And this will be high drama. And the longer this void goes on, the more important this is going to be. Now, there could be a crush zone, or it could just be a dip in and rip. And you can also do the trend line to get the compression on here. I can have this view, but see, I got filled on that. Not big enough for my content. That's when I say, you know what? I got to put bigger orders down here for a narrow, and that's the trick. That's the art. to have a slot of 20K sitting in a 10 pip window with a ridiculous target. People go, dude, the ratio 10 to 1? What are you fucking kidding? Yeah, but just on that one drop. So what I want to have is, and here's the big thing, maybe you could help me. This is the hardest thing about this whole fucking platform. How do you name the script so it tells what it's going to do? So even not only you can do it, because I want to have about 40 scripts, and other people can understand it. And what I've come up with, these naming conventions, so I've been in the process of naming the scripts now. This is the hardest thing in the world. It's like naming the book. The cover of the book should tell everything that's going on in that book. So you filter anybody that doesn't, you just make it, like Atlas Shrugged to me, when I heard that title, I go, well, that's really interesting. The whole world, you're kind of like saying, what the fuck? Wow, I got to read that. So what I've come up with, since I'm the only one doing it, but even I can lose track of what is that script? What was I thinking? And I'm actually writing new scripts now. The latest version of the grid drop I just wrote with Anthropic last week was, just drop me a grid, dude, right on the 10 handle. Not 10 pips deep, on the 10. And then I want to offset it, be able to offset by 10 pips off that 10. So what I want is, I'm going to buy at the 10, but I'm going to buy 10 pips deep. But now I'm telling it, no, I want a grid drop that buys in the 10.1, 10.2, all the way to 10.9, because I want to buy unique prices. Every entry, you could buy a 10K in a 1 pip window. So what if I do that? What if I buy a 3K in a 1 pip window? Each has unique prices, because I'm talking about buying 50K. I'm not buying a 1K in every 10 pip handle, even though that would make money. And the guy with the $500 account, you need to trade like that. But I'm talking about, you're sitting there and you drop a 15-minute script that starts buying 3 pips deep to 8 pips deep. It's buying a 20K, unique prices, unique exits. The market sweeps through that. It wicks into that. This is the scenario that has to happen for the 15-minute to fill. It wicks into it and cashes out. And maybe some lingering trades there that are swing trades built in. But I'm looking for a compression entry where I'm almost going to choose hard stops on all these trade plans, but it's going to be a scaled exit. So you have a hard stop at 20, you're buying a 10 pip window. So you're risking from the top of that 10 pip window to the bottom. You're obviously risking that. But it's a 20K, and one of those tickets is going to make 50 pips. But you're going to terrace it out, scale it out. And you're going to have now this is really deep, but you know, nobody cares but me. You have a half-hour version that buys 15 pips deep, hard-coded, like same idea, almost the same shape to the hard stop, 15 pip hard stop because it's deeper, 20 pip hard stop on the 40 pip deep. But I don't want to have things too canned. I want to have stuff that's, so the battle between objective trading and too niched, too pigeonholed of a scenario trading. You can't make it too precise. That's when you just have to drop it with your hand and go, oh, that trade plan right here. To hard code a double click that's going to lay in 20 pips deep, a 20K in a 10 pip window with a unique shape to it, I would have to name it swing trade or scalp. But I kind of want to combine it because I always want to scalp around my swing. So I want to make it hard coded in a sense. But I don't know. Are you rewriting these scripts yourself? Now the grid drops, you can rewrite them any way you want. The double clicks are hard coded to drop X amount of pips deep. It's obvious what's going on there. Are you rewriting these scripts, or are you just dropping what's already been written?
Yeah,
Thought question.
I'm rewriting.
So when you rewrite them, don't you get the sense that now I had this plan and I might still do it because it's admitting to yourself your flaws in a sense. Now when I buy at the market, I'm usually going, just give me some of that. It looks like it's going to go up. I'm not going to buy a standard lot at the market. So why don't I just say buy one at the market and just put a 3 pip and 5 pip 15-minute pending beneath it just in case I'm wrong.
Mhm.
And if I would have done that, because I'm going to do it anyways, why don't I just combine that into a sandwich trade? Have you ever thought about that? Because you can do it. The script can say buy one at the market and place a pending 1 or 2 or 20 below and just combine it. I guess the part of me that wants to stay organized, disciplined, and all that bullshit says, oh no, put it on a separate ticket. So those little decisions there are really kind of a big deal when you're really neurotic, because you're thinking, oh wait, I don't want to confuse myself. When I pull the trigger here, I want to make sure that I haven't created too many scenarios and too many trade plans that at least I can pull off what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many scripts that do you prefer a double click or do you want to drop it precisely?
I prefer to drag and drop.
Yeah. So the drag and drop is the way to go.
Yeah.
When I'm on my tablet, when I'm in my car in a hotspot, and I'm going to the store, and I go, really, these fuckers from Japan are doing this shit now, and I know I have the script ready. I want to do it because I'm really my fear of missing out's the I cured it by having a tablet by my bedside, so I sleep with a tablet, and I got my phone next to me. And if the pendings get filled, and I go, oh, I look at the phone, I go, oh, I got to fill. Oh, what the fuck is this? Maybe I should buy some at the market. Maybe I should add more limits. It's the alert for me to say, oh, it looks like it did tank there, or it did explode and I'm out, or I'm up on my trade, I better get the fuck out, because they're coming up when you get to about 1 o'clock at night here Eastern Standard Time. Before London opens, before Europe opens, I want to get out of stuff because it's probably the whole tide's going to change. So I want to go flat typically there. I should just get an EA that just goes flat at 2 a.m. and everything. But if you're holding a swing trade, you don't want to destroy that. So the problem there is that if you're scalping around the swing, do you get a separate account? No. I can't keep track of too much shit. So I just have one account. Maybe I should get a separate account. There's a lot of things I should do myself that I won't do because I'm not that person. And the people that I find are that person, there was a guy about 8 years ago, I did a stream called Cloud Trading. And I'd built this Akinashi system, smooth Akinashi, very elaborate. Oh my God, just like 5 layers of Akinashi, and it just gorgeous 3D look to it as it changed color. I still got those indicators. And it's actually on my thumbnail there on Discord. And so the thing is that this guy was able to make money with it because he could accept the rules. I can't. I'm a rule breaker. A real problem in my life is being too curious and too well, why not? And so people go, dude, there has to be rules here. Like you gotta no, we have rules. Like why? Like who's it hurting in the market? So I know the rule-based people, they're really good trend traders. Honestly, they wait for the setup, and they do occur. I'm telling you, dude, this is real shit. I shouldn't really get down on no-nonsense Forex trading, but the only reason I did that is because it's so goober, it's so retarded, but retarded people make more money than me. I got to tell you, Bill Williams will tell you that the smarter you are, the harder it is to make money trading because you just overthink it, And I can't accept the fact that, okay, here's a legitimate moving average crossover system. Even this one I'm talking about here. If you took all the trend trades on here, you would make money. You'd lose a couple. But with good ratios, you'd make more money maybe than my grid trading. But I just can't accept watching the drama and not taking advantage of it. So it's a real problem because it's like if you know how to build an engine in a car, it's different for you. When you drive the car, it's different for you than the guy that doesn't know what an engine is and knows how to drive the car. And you can't unring the bell. You can't unscramble that egg. You can't unsee what you know. And since you've made money from like this, all these spiky moves like this, yeah, you can see the trend trade, but I can't, baby. I can't wait until that setup. I can't do it. So I thought, wow, just throw fucking. I could do both. It's not, and the thing is, doing both too. Why not do both? Like, I think people are so serious about trading because it involves money that they say, "Oh no, I gotta find, I gotta find one, one wife and make babies with her. I can't fuck every girl in town." But in the
Yeah,
market, you
they
could.
like be like snipers.
Yeah, I mean, because the market, you could trade every instrument, every system you want.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you no, and nobody's going to
Mm.
arrest you. But yeah, so your buddy, does he trade just for fun at night, an Asian session when it's quiet, or is he trading like when the news comes out?
He's, let's say, he's not trading. Well, he's on demo, let's say, but he's like,
Wow, look, they
I don't
just took
know,
off floor.
kind of lazy, Lives with his parents. I'll tell you when I'm gonna trade live. I'm still learning. I'm trying to
Really?
explain him. Look, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him, but probably because parents pay for him everything, and yeah, he stays at home, watches movies, and playing video games. Like
Oh
he's saying,
God.
he's also watching the charts. But
Oh,
he
so he's
wants
got the
to be a
charts on the
trader.
corner of his eye.
Yeah,
See, look,
one
this
eye
day.
in the.
See this giant sell-off here? They'll probably take out the low of the previous day here because the momentum's so hard. So I'd probably buy just below the low of the previous day. But
Mhm.
this is another one of those scenarios where this is such a brutal
that's a good
sell-off
place
here
to
that
buy.
I'm typically long on this, on something. It may not take out the low of the previous day. So the idea that you're waiting for this ideal setup, and then this oh God, this girl, I don't know why I watch her, but it's this girl that does this trading video with this big tits, and she just talks nonsense and wants you to sign up with her latest thing. And
Probably not
she said, "Oh,
trader.
I tested the London breakout. See how it doesn't always work, and it's big long, yeah, duh." But so that I think that's the big problem. And when I back test my robots, which I did a lot of testing of this theory of trading, just like this. And I got to tell you, I wrote this run. If you want to play with my robots, that sounds bad, but if you want to check them out, because it's 20 robots in one. There's 20 modules, dude, that make decisions. So there's 20 trades that are going to be launched with different criteria, or possibly all the same criteria. And so this would have been a winning trade here. This whole giant fall down here and retrace right to the floor. That is a complete. That's nothing but a wick on a larger time frame. But look at that. So to me, I like this trade easier, putting buy limits in here. So what I do is I put the buy limits in. I double click it because I'm just gonna shotgun the area, canvas it. It's tedious for me to put the. You're doing those hand drops, which I would do in a 20 pip slot window, a precise window. I would do those hand drops because it matters. But a blanket grid drop like that, it's okay. I guess it's no different than, but it's kind of tendonitis for me to hold down the thing and drag and drop. Actually, it's gonna my tendonitis would probably kick in. But look at this thing here now. Now that your fair value here is established, it's kind of easier to trade now because now it's not going to go to a 40-year low. It's also not going to go to a 40-year high here. So it's actually safer to trade once you've established this range here. This is different kind of trading now, territory-wise, structurally speaking, because now you feel like a little safety zone. Like, yeah, the sellers are going to come in here. I can scalp that. Okay, just made 10 pips. Can I make 20? If I hold on, yeah, made 20.
Yeah.
Good. Made. I can't get 30 out of it. Let's go flat. So I like to play this back and just call out the trades in my mind. Look, if I would have waited, see, I'm just can't. I could have made 40 pips on that fucking sell up there. But I'm typically going to buy that plunge anyway. So I'm going to offset it by saying, yeah, I got out early on that short. Should have let it ride. But it's okay. I can trade this high probability drama. When the news came out there, so we're waiting. You can see London's prices. So just put this would be a not a London breakout trap. It's a London trap technique. Put your orders below London's prices. Wait for the news to come out and get in. Get out. You could have got back in here again. And here's so this is noon o'clock, and that's the follow through of the U.S. session. So when London closes, it's the end of the orange, and that's pure U.S. markets. And look how it comes all the way back. You could top tick Tommy. You could have shorted the top tick Tommy of U.S. markets like this. So this is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going short just for that 10, 20 pips. But then look at this. Look at the top tick Tommy up here. Now, I would tell you what, the longer the time goes on, the more better that fucking trade is. That is worth a lot of pips because it's kind of typically want to come back and chop out the low of Asia. Or there's buyers in here. All the trend traders that are looking at this as an uptrend, they're buying every kind of smash and grab down they can get their hands on.
Trend trader trading is for lazy brain.
Look at the void fill starting to get the head of the snake going pattern here. Your buddy would like this. Look how I just crushed that. I just crushed that shit. Now that's my buy. I'm buying all this crush now. Now this might be scary. This is the new void. This is getting to be a high. This could be a deep plunge area. So as time marches forward, that abyss starts to really be compelling. A real magnet, so to speak. But I'm happy to just make these 10, 20, 30, 40 pips in here. We might make 80 pips on stuff, but the bread and butter of trading for me is just this kind of stuff. I love the bullfighting analogy. I gave it to Anthropic. I thought it was cute. I said, the limit orders are my red blanket, and I'm waiting for the bull to come in. And as they disappear, I don't want to get killed. So catch a falling knife, too, with multiple fingers. But look how we're just... now this is... That London just opened there. You could have shorted just above Asia here for the scalp. But your sell limit's above Asia now. So you're always going session to session. Now you have big buys down here. Now this could be crazy. The news just came out. The U.S. session could press it in. Yeah, it's a big void, so you need a lot of tickets in here. The bigger the void, the bigger the plunge. So we scalped to the top of the box there. But once again, I feel like I undertraded that. I undersized it, That's why this idea of putting in these grids that are unique prices that I can literally have a script that buys scientifically, so to speak, just pure grid. It's going to buy every quarter pip. It'll have 4 trades in a 1 pip bar. I know it's hard to believe, but I babysit the market on my phone. I stare at it. I look at these things and I go, they just wicked that fucking, that's a half a pip nick wick on a 4-hour chart, and it just took off and went up 150. Have you ever seen Treasure? You ever watched it? You go, dude, it just went up 40 pips off that fucking little nick wick on the 4-hour. Just one little, and just, are there people sitting in front of are there people with smoking crack with their hand on a mouse going, dude, I work for fucking hedge fund, and I'm going to buy $40 zillion position right here. I'm going to move the market. Watch this. I mean, what's going on there? Because I'm part of the conspiracy part of my brain that who's behind the curtain. What the fuck? Part of me says nobody. It didn't break out. It broke out a half a pip and it didn't follow through. So everybody's like, uh-oh. Or are there actually robots, which somebody had to built a robot by now that cost, 10 grand on some mainframe computer that says, oh, when you see that, load the wagon or something, or pile into it if that scenario unfolds. But look how they just took it out, see? So one minute they nicked the wick, and now they're going back. Now this pending order bank is still good for the whole week. It's funny when I used to back test and say put a 1 week expiration on these giant grids. I'm talking about, I wrote scripts that buy 300 pips deep, right? With a 300 pip stop, almost like not having a stop, and it takes profits. Dude, these robots made so much money when the script lasted a week because that's always a good price. Look at that. In fact, look at that. Look at the retrace on that. You're up 50. You're up like on the bottom ticket. You're up 70 pips. But if you could handle the drawdown from the top, and I bring up my, if you go look at my stats on my demo account, it looks just like that, where there's a drawdown, but then you make it back because you're going to take a drawdown, but I don't know. People are so worried about the drawdown factor of life, I guess, because they look at any loss as being you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong.
I'm gonna go to the toilet.
Oh, okay, sure. Back. Knock yourself out. I thought you bought the pens by now, but okay, if you have to.
I'll be back.
There's only 4 people watching. So, no, if you want to phone into my Discord here, I did with Discord right now.
Okay, keep it open.
All right, man. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the I think the markets are coming unwrapped all over the place because of the fundamentals of stuff. And the NASDAQ, let me just go to the, let me pause my market drama there. Let's go look at the NASDAQ market here on the same, using the same template. I'm going to go with daily chart. So that'll be just pure black bars here. So I love this chart. This is, why wouldn't I, right? The current price. Now, I did say last week on the weeklies, the ball was down here. Actually, it was a monthly chart. I was saying the ball was current prices, closing prices. This may be the last rally, but the ball was down here in the trap of that wick. And you say what you want, but that's all that matters is that stop hunt, right? Or that liquidity fill there, and you filled it and closed here. That's a great fucking trade on the wick. Like, that's a lot of money. You can almost not see that trade. It's like this one here. I think this was the that's a monthly chart. So here is the tariffs, right? It's a tariffs there. I don't know what this is, but this high drama here. Where's the COVID? Is this COVID here? When was COVID? This has to be it right here. I don't know what this was. But look how it came back to this high. You don't, that's a real thing, but how often do you see that? Now the weekly says, I hope you scalp that wick because this could be lights out, right? Daily says, yeah, time to start selling. 4 hour says, I guess you're just, I don't know, 4 hour doesn't do anything for me. The 1 hour chart, it's the 1 hour or the dailies. So this is the zoomed out 1 hour chart. And here, that was the void. We're above that. We could still dip back into that box there, though. So that's another buy zone. And we have all this resistance to smash through. So, you know what? If they kill all the towel heads and we can all breathe a sigh of relief, and you break this trend line here, and you crash through all that resistance, and you make a new high on the NASDAQ, right? So you break this trend line, and let me delete all objects here. Come here, you. It's in an uptrend, you know. So this could keep on going up, but then there has to come a point of saturation, I suppose, on NASDAQ. Sellers are going to start coming in here. But maybe that's just the pull. Maybe there's just a place to buy if it comes back to the bottom of that. But it's quite a trajectory, don't you think? On the daily, you can really see the breadth of it here. I think we're going to be choppy for a while. I know people like to make these predictions way out in space, but no. If it does crash and starts taking out these supports, that's going to be quite the bloodbath. We could make it down to here, maybe. But that might have been the buy for a while. Man, that's some crazy stuff there. Definitely have to hold this price, though. I say for most people's minds. Of course, you nick that wick and keep going up. Look at all these times. That's what you would have said back here. Don't forget. So, okay, buy here. Look, I got a good deal. Look at that. Oh my God, it's gonna keep going up. Look at the trend line. Doesn't go up. Makes a new low. No, maybe that's the buy. I don't know. Is that the buy? But it's interesting territory. And Dow Jones is a little different view. This is industrial stocks here. This actually looks healthier. Nasdaq's pretty crazy. Dow Jones looks like it's poised to make a new high and just keep going north. Look at that thing. God damn. Yeah, Dow Jones is on fire. That weekly chart. I mean, maybe that's the beginning of the end, though. Maybe that's the maybe that's the shoulder. Oof. I wouldn't want to short that. It's going to go into record highs. That's a bull market. It's inherently bullish because we have so much fucking money. Looks like oil's had it. Oil made a rally here at the end of the day, but I was watching the daily. I remember when the crude oil fell out of bed here last week. So it's got to get above that. I think it's probably going to tank Sunday night, depending how much damage we do to the... And of course, gold had a nice pounce, but gold did not follow through very well because it's going to run into log jams. Last stream I talked about the gold on this big wedge forming, and you couldn't make it very far, but you did crush that. But yeah, that's gold's fucked. So if you're a gold trader, gold investor, you're fucked. This thing's probably going to drop to I'd buy it here. What is that? 3,500 an ounce. What's it at now? 4,041. Yeah, you're fucked. It's gonna go below. Yeah, gold's gonna go back below 4,000, don't you think? So look at that gold market, man. That was this climax shit. I remember this right here. Silver was hitting all-time highs. This was crazy town. Look at that pullback, man. How about that?
Unsustainable. Unsustainable. When you see like this price.
Look at it. Came
like
all the way back to here. Look at that.
Yeah.
From top tick Tommy. People are losing their fucking mind. I'll never forget. I was watching a stream around 10 o'clock at night. A guy was doing on silver, and he goes, "Silver's going to go higher and higher." Oh my God! Everybody's losing their mind here. I'll never forget. You look on the stream. If you could do a search for, give me the streams from this one time window on YouTube. I don't know if you search like that, but you wouldn't believe it. And I think this is where people look at this gap. This is a gap on a Sunday night here on the dailies, and that thing just went. People just lost their mind at fucking $4,500 an ounce, and all of this drama here. And then people thought, I watched this one guy, this political guy. He doesn't know shit about trading. He goes, "Dude, I'm buying here." I'm like, "Yeah, right. You could buy it down here. You could buy it here." Like once you hit top tick Tommy, everything's fair game. Look at the weeklies. Like so, and the reason why I had the monthly charts when I did my stream, I was bringing up the monthly chart at the time, and I said, and it was last year I did this stream. I could prove it. I go, "Dude, really? You think it's gonna go higher? I want what you're smoking. I can get enough of that. Whatever you're drinking." The abstinence, right? That's that stuff. Aleister Crowley shit, right? So you're pretty fucking good. You got great English, man. When did you in school they made you do English in Moldavia, or you just kind of picked it up by a habit along the way? How'd you do it?
Well,
I could never learn another language.
Been living here for 10, 11 years already.
Wow.
So in school I learned Spanish for 12 years.
They say Spanish is close to English, but they have the Spanish has the whole gender thing with every. So this would be like a male version of MetaTrader, right? I mean, everything has a gender, right?
Mm, I
Not
don't
everything,
know.
maybe.
I don't know. Spanish is like a Latin language. It's completely different, like roots. English is
'Cause-
German. Spanish is
yeah,
Latin.
you think of the structure or the verb idea, or just it sounds like it?
The sound, because my Romanian is very similar to Spanish, Italian, so probably it was easy for me to pick up. But I was a bad
So did you ever
student. I
get did
didn't.
you ever get seduced by one of those hot chicks that live there?
No, I'm married.
Oh my God! There you go. So yeah. How could you resist, right? You'd be a fool. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, to me, I would be. I'd be like, yeah, you know what, honey. So the big thing is that people would go, you know, so how can you trust women? You know, like in the United States, you know. I guess I don't trust them here because I'm thinking they're always thinking, well, let me see your bank account before I take you on a date. Whereas I always feel like the European girls are more down to earth. I feel they're more like, hey, as long as you got a plow and some fucking good soil, like let's get married, right?
I know. I heard that in USA guys are going to Asian countries to find a wife. Is that true?
Well,
Because
I guess go to the Philippines or
America.
they go to a place where
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
easy
yeah.
pickings, right? They don't want to work too
Yeah,
hard.
but like people are down to earth maybe in Philippines, or like, because like I heard like American girls are so messed up because of money and stuff.
Well, just
The state and stuff.
just like I go to the store sometimes here and you see some girl, she's wearing, she's got the cliche outfit. She's got the big eyelashes, or she's got the some designer clothes that has the designer's name on it. And you just think, well, I don't know. Like, so I was at this coffee shop by my house about 15 years ago, and I'm driving my Volkswagen. I'm driving the GTI, and it's, like I said, it's a 1995 or something, or 2000, and I'm like, I just kept it, it's falling apart, but I love it. I pull up to the coffee shop, it's all rusted and fucked up, and this girl that I've been talking to, she's from Finland. And she looks different. She doesn't look like she's from the United States. She's at the coffee shop, and she's really polite. And she's it turns out she plays hockey. I was like, really? I ended up taking pictures of her with I had a nice camera, a nice German camera. I was taking pictures of her playing hockey and stuff. I went to watch her play at the rink. Oh, that's crazy, man. You're from Finland? Yeah, she's telling me how Finland, they got like 10 kinds of snow, different names for snow there. There's so much snow. What? So she says to me, she stands up and she goes, I want to compliment you or something. I want to, praise you for the fact that your car is the way it is, that it's all fucked up. And because she's like, yeah, like that's like, you see somebody just living their life, And so she could appreciate that. And then we became friends. But because I always felt like that. When I first went to Europe and went to Italy, I was like 14 years old, I think, or 16 years old. No, I was 14. And it just changed my whole mind. Also, when I was in Israel, when I was like 18, going into a bathroom that doesn't really even have a toilet, I thought, okay, like this is, you just reset my whole brain. So when I came back to the United States, I thought I was in paradise. I thought, oh, dude, like even the worst place here is fucking way better than that. Like, so my standards shifted really hard, and people could not relate to me. They go, why is it like that in here? I go, why isn't it? Like, have you been to Europe? So it did warp me for the good, only because I feel like I have a more relaxed view. Whereas here, I don't have any friends. Well, I guess I'm talking to you. But I have the only friends I have are the people in my band. I play in this little band on Saturday night, and the drummer died, so I'm the new drummer, and I have the guitarist who's a pretty world class guitarist, but we're just nobody. The bass player is just he has beginner's mind, so that's his special gift. That he doesn't even know what he's doing, so he has really great. In other words, he's able to think on his feet because he has to. It's pure improv, so he just thinks on his feet, and he comes up with unique stuff because he doesn't have any preconceived notions because he hasn't played long enough. So he's kind of a. It's fun to have
Fresh.
somebody like that because he's
Yeah.
the guy that throws out weird ideas that nobody's ever. And you're like, really? Okay, let's do that. And since he's younger than me so he's like maybe 30 years younger than me. The other guy's maybe 25 years younger than me. The other guy's 10 years younger than me. The guitarist. I'm the oldest guy. And I'm engineering the whole band. I'm recording the whole band. I'm taking over this. I bought some mixing equipment, some preamplifiers, and broadcasting on OBS. So I'm the broadcaster and the engineer, the drummer. And so I have to do that because a part of me wants to express myself. That's the other thing that kind of surprised me about the stuff Mark Douglas said. He said in one of his lectures and books, he says, the human needs expression. So if you're trading, you're expressing yourself. So you be careful because you're expressing yourself there too. So if you're pissed off, you're anger trading. Because humans need expression. You need to vent on something. So I have the demo account. Like I say, the demo account for me is my chance to fantasy trade, but I'm also trading. I'm building systems and techniques and stuff. But the I forgot what my point was. But is the contrast between what you need to also what you need to trade, right? So what you need to live, what you need to trade. Do you really need all this stuff? All of these indicators. And I thought at the beginning I thought, well, I don't want to miss a thing, so I want to have all the filters. The guy I was telling you about that wanted me to write a script that had a 5-pip stop and no target. He was also writing indicators. So he'd written an indicator that had every moving average possible from 1 to 144. And it was all on the screen at once. All different colors. He goes, look what I wrote. And we call it the Christmas tree. This one guy, there's this millionaire that I found. He came on to me inside of this Spanish in Spain. There was some guy created a site called FX Street, and there was a chat room there. And he came across me. He goes, hey, what's going on? And I started talking to him. And I go, hey, what's going on here? And I didn't know this guy was a multi-millionaire who traded the guppy in giant positions, and he talked to central banks. And he said, he goes, I got a tip for you. I got a tip on the yen. They're going to do this. And I go, really? And at that time, so he came across my either YouTube channel or YouTube, because I was posting inside of this. I was a real publisher. I was publishing a little blog in there and everything with my ideas, hoping somebody would come across would be a script writer and go, wow, I love what you're doing, let's do it. I was looking for a trading partner in a sense, actually reaching out because I wasn't selling anything. So he says to me, well, I've been in the guppy for like 2 years, and I bring up the chart and I'm like, fuck me, this is like, dude, this has been going up for 2 years, and he's not in 1K, he's in like, I don't know, 10 standard lots, and I'm like, holy shit. So one time he actually met, just before the war, he'd met his wife to be. He had this girl in the Ukraine, some hot chick that he was talking to. He flew her, he flew over there to meet her and stuff. He met her on Skype. He was talking to her on Skype and shit. And I said to him jokingly, I said, did you go over to, he teased the fuck out of me. I never got over it because I said, you going to go to Belarus? And he goes, I'm going to, I said Polaris or something. So he goes, I'm going over there. And I said, well, how was the flight? How were the peanuts? He goes, they were great. I own the plane. Oh, this guy's rich. And then he wanted me, and then he wanted me to, and then he kept asking me about RSI because I was in RSI heavy back then. He goes, "Tell me how that works again." And I tell him he didn't really care. He just wanted me to, and I made a whole video. I made private videos for him. He never watched. I go, "This guy just wants to talk." And then he said, because he's just bored out of his mind, and he got a bunch of computer screens, and then he told me he had this car once. He goes, "I had a Ferrari or like some high-end car." He goes, "I gave it to my girlfriend because I almost killed myself. I accidentally popped the clutch and it did donuts and I almost wiped out. So I just gave it to my girlfriend." But that's how much money he had. And then he brought his girlfriend, and his girlfriend had a kid, and he imported his wife to be, and he lived down in Florida, and maybe he's listening, and he had a nice house and alligator, rich guy, and he said to me, it was so funny. This is just before Trump. It's 2015, and Trump's running for office. I said, "Trump's going to win." He goes, "They'll never let him be president. He'll never win. He can't." And that's what we were. After that, I think I teased him. After that, I said, "How'd that work out?" And but he said to me talking about currencies that one night. I said, "New Zealand dollar is banging up against the buck. You see where it's at?" Now, this is back when I had this giant view of the market, and I looked at historical charts of the New Zealand dollar way back, and I go, "Dude, that's going to break out. It's going to kill the American dollar. It's going to go above a buck. It's going to go above par." And I did videos about it. He said to me that they'll never let that happen. And I thought, well, how can they stop it? But he knew something I didn't, which is the central banks control the whole thing, in a sense, right? Now, maybe somebody steps in, like one of these guys, like who's the rich guy that made money on the pound, who bankrupted the pound, the famous guy, the evil guy. Soros, yeah. Soros could maybe do it, right? He could move it. But I just kind of was a little disappointed. Part of me, that's the romantic part, says, no, anything's possible. No, they can't do that. They're not going to control that. But they do pegs. They did peg the Swiss franc. Let's face it. That was pegged, and it was kind of like, as long as it's pegged, it's safe. Right? They pegged it, right? But yeah, they do intervene. These things are real. But I think when we look at the charts, we think, well, I'm just trading what's on the chart here. But it is fascinating. The gold thing's a very fascinating story, and the spread was so wide there for a while when it was selling off that people couldn't figure out why the pawn shop wouldn't give them $5,000 an ounce for gold. By the time you drove down there, so this whole thing about, well, I'll buy gold because if the end of the world comes, gold's going to be $50 an ounce, dude, because everybody's selling it to buy shit. So
yeah,
I mean, a lot of theories. I mean, your buddy went to economics school. What they teach in there, it was so funny that this is the funniest thing in my lifetime I got to see in my whole fucking life. Is Trump is an economist. He took economics, and he's defied every expert for the past 6 months. They go, well, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. How come that tariff should have ruined everything? No, and they're wrong on every turn. It's so funny. And as it unfolds, once this war is done with, you got to move here. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, where you're at, so you're way better. So compared to Moldavia, you're way better off in your mind. You might as well move to the United States, right? I mean, is it a more can you count on the power not going out and shit there? I mean, were you having problems with infrastructure in Moldavia or hot chicks but no electricity? No, it's a modern world, right? As long as you don't overpopulate it, right?
Yeah, there is everything there, but because of the Russia, it's like security threat, like with Ukraine, and
really?
We have this like.
Do you feel paranoid that they're going to march across Europe into Moldavia? Is the public kind of on guard now?
They did this in '92 because we have part of our territory that they took over when the government changed.
Are they really close to it? Are they up against the gun? Are they just standing at the border, just tapping their toes, waiting to come across?
No. Well, right now they're isolated because until war started with Ukraine was helping Russia to manage that territory. right now.
God
Ukraine is
damn,
against
man.
them,
I mean,
and they are kind of isolated. It's a frozen conflict. We had a war with Russia, but it didn't last long, let's say, because yeah,
but this
very
is a
small
new
territory.
this drone war is a trip. Did you see those drones they have in they've been flying over Russia and stuff and Ukraine, where
Yeah,
the drones leave this like thread behind, this white thread, and it's a big problem. In other words, it's like a track. It's like a thread dongle or something. These drones, it's crazy in the
mm,
trees. It's all. It's like it's this toxic plastic is all wrapped around the trees and shit. It's like the
yeah, we've
path
seen
that
that.
the drone took. Have you seen those? Have you seen those strings?
No, no.
Yeah, it's kind of look up drone strings and you'd be surprised. I mean, it's kind of a mess. There's a lot of fallout. Not to mention, I don't understand this. Like, is this true? Like, I hear about this Ukrainian war. How many people have died and how many people are dying every day? How in the fuck are these people saying, "Well, where can I sign up for war? I hear you get killed right away." Like, how is this going on? Like, is we're just sitting here talking on the fucking internet, and these people are waking up every day going, "I could get killed today in this dumb shit war about nothing." I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Are we just are people just getting more primal as time goes on? They're getting more like
um,
cavemen. Like, is civilization just, you got some guy polishing up his Rolls Royce over in England and you got these people bombing the shit out of him. And here's the biggest crime. I hope they're not killing the hot chicks. Because, after the war, be a lot of women left over, right?
yeah.
You just wonder. No, there was this girl I was chatting with on Skype out of Ukraine once, and I thought, you look like fucking. She looked just like oh my god, Cleopatra from the movie.
Mhm.
It's just the most gorgeous, iconic looking features. I'm like, man, you're like frozen in time. You look like somebody gorgeous from like 100 years ago. It's almost like the features are just not diluted by any type of anything. It's just like it's a refined version of the latest hot chick. Yeah, but it gets all right. You're like, yeah, enough already. Yeah, we got big asses over here, big tits, big ass. You seen Dolly Parton? She's got her own
Big,
fucking Disneyland. She's
big
got
tits.
Dolly Land or something.
Everything is fake, yeah.
If it's not fake, it's not real here. Yeah. Fakes are friend. I don't know. I think people
Yeah.
are onto it though. Did you get in? Did you go into Bitcoin? Your buddy go into Bitcoin?
No,
I,
I
I
don't
wrote
think.
I wrote some Bitcoin scripts, but man, it's so
The spread is
the spread's brutal. Yeah.
huge.
Oh, it's only
I
like
don't think if you
I
can
think it's
trade it,
$1,000. I think here. It's $6,600 right now at the moment. Oh no, it's priced very high price, so I know it sounds like a big spread, but it still is, right? It's $6,700. You can trade it on the weekend though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like look at here's the 1 hour chart. I mean, and it's funny because the time of day still matters. It still holds up. Here is a viable gauge of. I have to reload the template. Bitcoin crashes the MT4 platform because the number's so big that MetaTrader doesn't know what to do with it. It
Wasn't
really
designed.
chokes on it.
Although there are
Look at
indexes
this.
that
Look
are
at this. Now this is 7 o'clock at night. Here's the London Open. Look at that. Or here's the news. Look how the news affects Bitcoin just like it affects everything else. Here's the 30-minute chart. There's news up there. The yellow is news. Look at the news here.
Mhm.
You could try, but
Yeah.
I mean the spread is brutal. You can't see if you can't see the spread on the chart, then you're on the right chart for Bitcoin. So if you scrunch it down like this, I can't see the spread. Okay, you're okay. So these I'd hand place the orders. It's too hard to write grids for this unless they're going to be 15-minute. So the 15-minute double clicks to me, that's a whole different style of trading. Like that's like, I'm just going to trade like what's in front of me right now. But those big long term, like, oh, that's a that's obviously a big deal price, that new low. So on Bitcoin here, and it's pretty good leverage here. I think it's 100 to 1 leverage, I think, on my Bitcoin trade. So it's not bad. You could trade. I'm trading a micro lots in this demo for the Bitcoin, so it's not that bad a trade. I can bring up my tools. Show tools. Toolbars. Oh, what happened? Oh, I moved it here. Yeah, here's the box on the Bitcoin. High drama here under the floor and then back up again. But not to the moon, you know. We're back here again. Already down a new low, so the idea that you would hold that. That's why the mean reversion systems make more money, because it's over. After it wicks out, it's the whole thing's done. There's nothing left to be mined out of that thing. Like, here's a zoom out view of Bitcoin. Here's a 1 hour chart. So the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin, big zoom out here. It's not going anywhere. So investing in it's kind of pointless, I suppose. I mean, you're looking to hold it for 5 years because it's just noise here. It's just garbage up and down. But look at that news, man. I'm just fascinated by this. I can't get over this chart, how it just reveals the time of day that these events are happening, because I just never thought about it before. But here's the news. Top Tick Tommy from London to the news, and that's that big. Even the Bitcoin's saying bye-bye. Right on the news. Look at that. Look at these news trades. Amazing. Here's like a plunge into the news. A nice dead cat bounce. Here's another buy window. It's a baby. But look how dramatic the news was here. It's just amazing. To me, this is... But I cannot get a robot to do this trade because it can't assess that little niche window. It's going to mistake so many other... You can't. I ask Anthropic. I might ask Anthropic, is it possible to have a robot with that many filters? It'll rarely trade though. There's too many great trades on the 15-minute chart, you know. Even in something like this, there's the 15-minute Bitcoin. So I'd rather have my finger on the trigger and do a couple market orders, which you could do. Like, say, if you waited here for the news to come out, you're like, sell, sell, sell. Bitcoin, yeah, you overcame the spread there. Nice trade, right? Bam. Then, as soon as London closes, drifts back up in U.S. sessions. So I love this. This is high noon. This is London. So this is the orange is the only time London and the U.S. is open at the same time. But I had to put the news in there because 8:30 to 9:30 is a big deal, and I was going to put 6 o'clock in the morning because that's almost the swing low. It seems like 6 o'clock in the morning is the climax on the euro dollar as far as when it's going to sell off. So here is 6 o'clock in the morning on this one, just before the news. So I'd like to get in on something. It's not going to be everything, you know. And that's the other all or nothing problem with trading, is that people are doing one or two trades where I'm just doing a basket of entry. Overcome that problem. Like, this is probably 6 o'clock in the morning right here. I don't know. I have to mark it off. I'd have to actually put a bar in. This is probably 6 o'clock in the morning here. But I made a new lower, but here it did not make a new low. And yeah, this is the tail end of that move. But you know, it's probably going to be choppy next week. Are you just trade the euro, or is that the only thing you're trading is euro?
Yeah, I'm trying to focus only on Euro USD.
It's just easier, you know. But you know, I see there's a lot of juicy trades. I know people like to trade the guppy, and that one guy was trying to trade the New Zealand versus the pound or something. It's crazy. Those are just they look great on the chart because you're just seeing bid prices, but the spread is so big. That's the big fallacy, I think, that the patterns look better on the exotic pairs because the price is illiquid and it spikes more, and it gives you a more pattern patternized chart. Really the patterns jump out at you because they should. I mean, that kind of crazy lack of liquidity. It's a choppy. It's like the moves are so hard, and they are so short. And I remember people would trade the peso and stuff. What are you doing with these things? The only mirror image I used to have a bunch of brokers, so I looked at every symbol, and I found the mirror image to the euro dollar, and I think it was the kroner versus the euro, the Swedish kroner, something like that. And if you look, it's a complete mirror image. So if you want to go long, although it's a different price scale, right? Because the kroner's like the yen, where it's like 2 point something, right? But if you ever run those charts horizontally, it's almost a mirror image perfectly. So if you only wrote buy scripts, you'd be able to trade, but you still have to adjust that script because I think it's the decimals off by at least one difference, or how much money you have to maybe double up your size or something. Because the New Zealand dollar is cheap, you could buy 2 contracts. I never thought about it. It's such cheap a currency, you could buy more of it. And the pound, I don't know. I just trade the euro because the pound, the spread's wider, and it's kind of illiquid compared to the euro. I always figured that the most liquid thing is the easiest thing to trade, especially if you're looking at a 1 minute chart. The 1 minute pound chart looks like there's missing data or something.
Yeah, and there's slippage as well.
Yeah, and all of a sudden that's on a floating spread, it can just jump and just clip you out. Yeah, your buddy trading with the tight stops. I know his heart's in the right place, save money, but that's why people say trade without stops, because what they're saying, put a wide stop in, dude. There's no way you're going to be right on this one fucking entry. It's just, I mean, to admit to the fact that you're not right about your entry is probably the hardest thing to do, especially if you studied really hard and you put a pencil behind your ear and you got all your technical analysis, being very technical. I'm very technical.
That's
you're right.
Psychologically very difficult to trade because it can be like, mathematically speaking, 20 times wrong. I would go crazy, trading like this. Imagine losing 20 times in a row.
Yeah, I tell you.
Or 50.
When the market, something happens, like I've been in the yen, where the market just slices and just blows out all my tickets. I'm like, wow. Okay, yeah. And now, if you look at the yen for the past 6 months, there's trades in there that are just, I'll tell you what, I think I made like $4,000 months ago in a yen trade. I go, yeah, this thing's going to retrace. And I really loaded up and swung it. But then I turn around and I'm like, oh, let's try that. And it just lost 1,000. Try to do the same trade.
Yeah.
Because it's the market just in the middle, out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's always changing.
In the middle of the night, it can just rip up or down, and there's no warning. It's not like at the top of the hour. It's just out of nowhere. So I can't even say I'm time. I can't even say, well, my script's going to delete and it's going to. But I'm okay with losing that because this one trader said I can always make it back. Whereas when people write robots, oh, the robot lost money. Should you tweak it? Probably not, because you can't do anything about that. And I mean, the quants are trying to make like 1% or something. I do think you can trade it though, if you can really find a way to trick yourself into having patience. For me, it's watching. I watch movies and stuff. If I'm sitting in some trade that I don't really want, like I can't do anything about it if it's a swing trade, so I'll just sit there and watch movies and think, well, we're just going to have to wait. This is a great trade. You just got to wait. But the scalp is an obvious no-brainer. Just get in and get out. But you would make more money on a swing trade typically, because all those scalps, you got to work hard. It depends how hard you want to work. Is your buddy sitting there and so he's just doing the demo, right? Until he gets good and he's going to join a prop firm.
Oh, I think he's not even doing demo. I think loses 5 times in a row, and then goes to study another course
Oh,
about it.
okay. Course jumping.
Although
So
he's been doing this for 10 years, I'm
10
tired of.
years.
Yeah,
Really?
more or less. I mean, I
So
don't
it's like a
know.
hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get him, like he watches the markets but rarely trades them.
Every instrument or
So
just one watch the
yeah,
stock
probably
market?
like probably the magic
Everything.
majors.
All the majors?
Like yeah, um, I don't know if he watches gold. I think he likes Nasdaq
But the
and
Nasdaq is
gold.
so violent now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't watch. I
How does he
watch
adjust?
S&P
How
500.
does he adjust to the volatility? He's running a. So if you run a tight stop, you got to sit there and babysit the market, and you got to pull the trigger, thinking
Yeah,
I'm going to be right, and then you got to get out immediately. Otherwise, they're going to come back and get your stop.
yeah.
So, but that's really so. Is he watching? He's watching courses that are really scalping courses. Then
I don't know. He sent me some. Yeah, probably scalping or. For example, if looking at this chart, he would buy the top and he would wait another level. He would want to exit on the bottom. Well, sorry, got confused.
so
He would buy the bottom,
yeah.
and he wants to exit at the top. So for him, that's how it's supposed to trade. How you are supposed to trade. Basically, buying the bottoms and exiting at the tops. And if you are exiting
perfect world, right?
sooner, if you exit sooner, that's not a good trade because risk reward is not good, and you need to risk like 1 to make 5, or 10 or 20.
But
So
I mean, how often does he get stopped out though? Can he still?
that's the question. It doesn't want to tell me.
I mean, the thing is if you there's this guy I posted his video years ago. It's probably still out there. You can hardly understand. You can hardly hear what he's saying sometimes, but it's just some guy. It's the first time I ever saw somebody talk about auction trading, and he's doing this video. It's called auction trading. Yes, it's called Market Auction Theory or something like that. And he goes through a chart, an oil chart, and he says, I have this. My his risk to reward ratio is really insane, and he gets stopped out, but he makes it all back and then some because he's stuck with the thing. Plus, he was trading right at the edge of the market, right where the very edge before it reverses. So he was doing that edge reversal. If you're doing that, you might get stopped out three out of 5 and still make a ton of money because But that presupposes you held through all the way to the take profit. It presupposes you kept stepping up to the plate, taking the same fucking trade. Now most people, that's why they want a robot, because they go, you know what? I'm sick of getting stopped out, dude. I'm not going to take the next one. Fuck it. And then that becomes the winner that they missed, and then they really pissed off because they go, yeah, no, now it's going to go up. So yeah, there's a lot of consolidation that's choppy and then it rips.
Yeah.
So if the consolidation's too wide for your stop, you'll never ride the train. And you might be right about the direction, but you're too cheap to trade it. Yeah, you need deep pockets, Like I said, the trades that I've loaded into where I think, oh my God, I got to add money to this trade. Like I'm I'm losing. I'm not in a margin. I'm talking about. I'm in like 4 standard lots, and I'm like, every pip is a lot now, right? And is this thing gonna start to fucking retrace? Hopefully today, because if it keeps dripping down here, dude, I'm fuck. I gotta. And then finally, there you go. You're up $8,000. You're sitting there teetering with $1,500 in the account. But that's just what trading is. It's the psychological punishment of kind of being because who wants to lose? Who wants to lose $2,000 on a trade? You know,
Yeah.
it's like you're like, damn, like, and it's so hard, I think, for people to get back on something like that, because if you were gonna, you could study trading, that's one thing, but if you study like how to build a car, yeah, you might drop a hammer on your foot one day, but the car's not going to blow up. You know, I mean, this is such a disastrous outcome sometimes that who would keep doing it, you know? At least you feel like you're making progress if you learn how to paint your house, and look I painted the house, it worked out. I read the directions, but I understand your buddy, he's like, maybe I got the wrong directions because my house burned down after I painted it, so maybe I get better house painting directions. Gosh.
That's the stuff. It's being
Makes sense,
sold
you know.
On the internet.
So he's
Like,
actually paying for the course? He's not just watching
he's
video?
like, he's watching. He tries to find everything for free, but I don't know. He doesn't apply this, or like tries to apply it, and it doesn't work for him, and goes back to learning. And yeah, I don't know if he's gonna jump into live and trading.
So did you ever? Is he a MetaTrader? Is he using NinjaTrader? What's he using for his platform?
MetaTrader.
So
MetaTrader.
did you say, hey, try these scripts? He just didn't know how to load them in there, or he didn't even try it?
Yeah, he gets this, but he thinks that you should always trade with low risk, high reward.
Oh, well, he could just change the.
Yeah,
He could edit the stops and make them tighter.
yeah, easily.
I think the tightest stop I'm using is 15, but that's too tight. When a market goes nuts, that seems like a tight stop.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when, you know, the thing was that I guess I'm too greedy, because when I see FOMC and I see non-farm payroll and I see these fucking news trades, I'm like, man, there's got to be a way to make money on that. And I didn't know there was about placing pendings before the news, and just walking away and see what happens, because that to me was like, wow, that is just in fact, I don't think I could pull the trigger fast enough on some of these entries to get as good a price as the limits got. I mean, you might get a slippage or a requote, and so if you nest the tickets in there in those little slots, I think that's the trick, that's the magic. I mean, I did do a trade once on the Canadian dollar with stop entry, believe it or not. I put buy stops. I thought, well, if it breaks, you know, let it fucking, I'll get slippage, but I'll make money. And I made money on that trade. It's so funny. This is when I was talking to this guy, when I was talking to these people on Skype and stuff. And I was a trend trader because I was hanging out with trend traders, so I could see their trades, you know. And I would counter trend trade them. I'd fade their stuff on scalps sometimes, but I'd be like, yeah, I see what you guys are talking about. I'll do that trade with you. I was making money because I was trend trading with them, only because they were trend traders, and I thought, yeah, this is a lifestyle. Like, you got to be relaxed, and you got to, you know, like you cannot be high strung to be a trend trader. You got to relax and say, you know, which I can't calm down. So hanging out with them, I started, you know, think, oh yeah, I see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, it's probably gonna go. It's good. It's in an uptrend. You know, just wait. And there's some guy, some famous trader, Sequoia, Ed Sudoka or something, who wrote a song about the trend traders. We just sit here and wait. And I go, how fucking retarded, you know? What a bunch of brain dead fucks. I'm not hanging out with you guys anymore. No, I hung out with them and I became a trend trader. It's so funny. I started to almost lose IQ though. I thought, oh my god, really just gonna wait? It's your trade plan? Wait? Yeah, waiting's part of trading. Oh fuck, shut up. Give me a goddamn. I want to pull the trigger on shit. You know, I want to kill stuff.
This trend trading is from 1950s, you know, or 30s, when there was only trend, you know, there wasn't any correction or stuff, and it came from stocks, no?
Well, yeah, and actually, the Dow theory was built on this algorithm or this technique that always worked. In fact, this Perry Kaufman who's talking, he's still on the internet, still live. This guy's still live doing interviews. He says, yeah, we used a 10-period moving average, dude. It made money all day long in the 20s.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
10-period moving average you plotted, I mean, but now he says, I think there's too many participants in the market. There's guys that are in there just for 5
yeah,
seconds, guys that are in there for 5 minutes, and it's
yeah,
big
yeah.
money in there for moments. That kind of jumbles up because I think the execution there wasn't that much volume in the market, right? The only people that traded were
Yeah.
the same goobers that always traded, right? The institutions, and they all traded the same fucking shit. But yeah, once you opened up to me, once Forex started, once they did. So I remember. So I've been trading commodities right back in the day. So
Yeah.
I'm really a market junkie, I suppose, because I had when they came out with. So at this time I had a satellite dish on my roof, and I was paying $200 a month, dude, for this satellite connection of real-time pro feed plus exchange fees. And this is right when Globex started. And it was 24-hour trading. I thought, oh, this is going to be the shit, dude. This is going to be it. And I'd open up my trade station, which was connected to the satellite software. It was a big fucking drama to hook it up. And if it crashed, you had to wait for the rebuilding of the global index file inside a trade station. It was crazy. Windows 95. So I thought, this is going to be the future, man. 24-hour trading. And I'm looking at it, but nobody's trading. Yeah, who's trading at midnight? It wasn't. And then when Forex came, I thought, wait a minute. How can this be free? There's no satellite dish, no exchange fees. In fact, a 501 leverage, I need $50 to open a trading account. Like, what the fuck? I needed $5,000 in my account to trade one contract of corn back then. 5,000 bushels of corn was $600 a margin. What?
Yeah.
I'm trading one contract, so every time it moved, it was $12.50 every time it moved. That's what a tick was worth. And
Yeah.
I thought, that's weird. Yeah, it's a quarter of a penny move. So it moved 4 increments, and then so I started trading demo. I'll never forget. I was trading demo on a demo account Forex, and I just thought, oh, this is like stocks. And it was a British pound, and I was on a 1 hour chart, and it was dropping. All night long I bought. I blew up 5 demo accounts. I was buying standard lots. I didn't know what a standard lot was. I was buying standard lots as it dropped, because that was the default setting on MetaTrader. And I thought, man, if I was short, my God, how much money would I have had right now? And my head exploded. And then when 2008 crash came and they outlawed hedging, and the government came out with a bill that attacked the small trader like me, I was heartbroken. I go, dude, they just wiped out retail Forex trading in the United States. But I had accounts overseas. I had accounts you wouldn't believe, dude. Somebody emailed me and said, I'm looking for a good Forex broker. I'm looking for any Forex broker back then. I had one called IKO. It's probably still alive. They'll let you trade nano lots, dude. Out of a website. I don't even know if it was a scam, but I never took any money out. But at the time, there was no Bitcoin, so I deposited using Liberty Reserve, like a peer-to-peer currency, out of Canada. So first I had to buy. Dude, this is how hard it was to trade Forex back then. I had to buy. It's before Bitcoins, but it was like a Bitcoin kind of instrument. And I had to buy that out of Canada. It was called CA Gold out of Canada. I had to buy their currency. They had their own currency.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you remember this shit, but this is very intense because people, the money laundering stuff and all that's involved to some degree, because I'm paying 10%. So if I buy $100 of this Canadian currency, I'm left with $90. Then I gotta shift it again. So maybe I get about $85 into my account after I start with 100, just to get through all the countries to get into European account. And then, but if it was in the Liberty Reserve, I don't know if you know what that is.
I know what that is.
Yeah, remember the guy that owned that? They went to Puerto Rico and they took him away from his house and his Rolls Royce because he was making 50 cents a transaction on this peer-to-peer shit. And that's what I was doing. And it was unhackable. They had a master code and a key. Every time you get there, the keypad would change. It was genius. And I would deposit
There
there.
was
And
Payza as well.
what's that?
There were
Payza?
this, yeah, Payza.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
using Payza.
Yeah,
I
Payza.
had
And
like
then there was, there was another one. I had them all, dude. I had signed up for every one of them. And then they started to block me. They go, "You're from the United States. You can't use that." But you could
yeah.
for a minute. You could. And it was Payza, and there was another one. God, there was
something.
there was a site you go called B2B or something site. It had all the exchange rates for all these different instruments that people had come up with
Yeah, yeah.
before Bitcoin. And oh God, there was one out of Canada. There was actually a bank out of Canada where you could store your coins. This is before Bitcoin. And
Something with gold.
God, what was it called? What's that?
Something with gold in its name.
Yeah, it was CA
Gold.
Gold. CA Gold was the Canadian one, but there was one called, oh my God, something Security Reserve out of, and it was a Canadian. It's probably all gone now, but I thought, well, that's what I'll do. This is I had this. You were trying to escape. You're trying to escape Moldavia. I was trying to escape United States money laws because I said to myself, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build Forex accounts, and if it ever goes complete full retard here, I'm going to move overseas and just extract my money and live off of my Forex accounts overseas, because I'll have this way that I can withdraw through Liberty Reserve. But then they destroyed that, as they do anything that's good that was working. But anyways, back then I had Hot Forex. I had which became Turning Point Forex. I had
eGold.
Master
Sorry.
Forex. What's that?
eGold account. I remember what it
Oh
was.
yeah, eGold.
eGold.
Yeah, eGold, right? eGold with the dash before the gold, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was
remember.
crazy. Now, I'm telling you, well, this is it's so funny because Bitcoin, I think people saw that and they go, well, I don't know if Bitcoin was still going on in parallel with that, but because Bitcoin's young, but yeah, the eGold, and there was another thing, and one had a higher rate, but it was easier as it would be, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, all that shit, and it's still there. That where you go and see all the transfers, so you could actually get to the point where the only way to really get cash was to end up in a Western Union transaction. By then, you were down to like, in other words, if you had $100 you're trying to take out, instead of paying wire fees, which I never would because I was never taking out that much money. By the time you got down to the money order out of Western Union, their fees,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you could eventually get cash out of that foreign exchange account. And then when Bitcoin came, it was a no-brainer. Bitcoin made it easy for, and I think that like I traded an unregulated broker, and I don't have a problem at all because I'm an unregulated person. So I figure that's a perfect fit. And this idea of regulation to me is like, it's just too much hand-holding. I mean, just give me a car. It doesn't even have doors. As long as the engine runs, I can drive it with the windows broken. I'm good. So that's but the carefulness that people put into trading, I think you have to be a risk taker. So even on the trading account. So I had this one account I'll never forget, and I did a seminar at this library in local village here. $100 to rent the room. I couldn't believe it. 12 computers with an overhead computer, and I'm going to give the meeting. And I took over a stock trading class, and I had an audience. I thought maybe I'll find somebody that's going to build a trading system with me, and we can share the account. And my dream back then was that Forex is a 24-hour market. Let them trade the Asian session. I wanted to find a European trading buddy that would say, I'll trade Europe and you trade US, and we'll keep the account alive. And I had the idea of managing a PAM account that people invest in, and we'll run that on we'll make a percentage of the account in a PAM account, but there's all problems with that money wise. And as soon as you mention money, it's a whole fucking, like, the idea of trading is different than money, because as soon as you mention money, oh well, there's like disclaimers. Even on the stream, the one guy was warning me, oh, you got to give a disclaimer. This is not, you don't give financial advice. Oh, fuck, are you kidding me? Obviously, I don't. But or if you're taking financial advice, and I don't know what to tell you. So I know the disclaimer there. I never had anybody say anything. I never had YouTube say anything. But I'm not selling anything, and I'm not really high profile, so I just do it for my own ego, really, just to vent. And sometimes I'll go full political and just come unwrapped. I came unwrapped on that fucking bitch out of New Zealand once. I did a whole thing on her when she's standing up with the fucking everybody's got to wear a mask and a dildo. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, well, I hammered the shit out of her, and I know it was off topic, but I don't care. That's the nice thing about not having to have a sponsor, and no, I mean, I mean,
You're free.
What's the point, right? Besides, I did have people writing indicators for me for free, so that was a bonus. And I did connect with other traders. There's one guy who's a drunk that shows up occasionally. I don't know if you know this guy, who claims he's written, some amazing robot, but you can't. I'm going to just tell you, I'm going to save everybody a lot of time. There's no robot like that. There are, like I said, if you have 10, 20 robots that are okay, like a shitty prop house, and then you oversee them, and you, like, in other words, if I had a robot that got into an amazing trade and I knew that the take profits weren't set and the trailing stops were wrong, I'd be like, just get him out of that trade. I'd be like, let's just clear out that trade. I mean, the robot got in, but I'm saying, dude, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not going any further. Like, the robot might have a target that's fucking bullshit. I'm going to get the whole trade is cleared off and cash out. It might be good for that, like getting me into the trade, but I'll be getting out. And maybe it would have made more money if it let the robot take over, but I can't live like that. I just can't imagine. I want to be able to, I don't want to lose the ability to think. So once you turn everything over to the robot, then what about you when the robot, I don't, it's too fragile, right? I mean,
True.
the guy that wrote that anti-fragile book, the Black Swan guy, he's saying, and I thought about it one day after I watched him about 3 years ago. I was downtown at this high-end village, and I went into the bathroom connected to this high-end coffee shop. It was beyond Starbucks, and they had a movie theater connected to it also, like a boutique theater where they show, like, oh, these are just such snooty films. And so I went to the bathroom, and I thought, this is a problem. Electric eye for the water, electric eye for the towel, electric eye for like if the power goes out, there won't no water, nothing, and it's so electronic, that room, the bathroom. I thought, you're fucked, people. If you're gonna start going that way and everything and make everything convenient, you're gonna hit a wall.
Yeah.
And there'll be the oh, we didn't see that coming. Everybody's on the same page. Oops. I guess the page fell off the page. Oops. So, yeah. But I don't know. We'll probably all be dead by the time that apocalyptic. And the other big bullshit fear out there is AI is going to think for itself and take over. No, it can't think for itself. You're full of shit, dude. Oh, this thing just went and did this. You turned it on. You set it on an instruction set. It can't think for itself. Oh, it's building its own machine learning. Get out of here. There's no such thing, dude. Like, I heard a guy talk about AI, and he said, and this was like I figure a smart guy. He said, listen, you can't, AI's biggest issue is ambiguity. You can't just, like a human, I could say to you, sky's blue, and we could talk about the sky's blue, why it's blue, forever on tangentials, but not AI. You have to give it a good prompt. It's prompt dependent. In fact, the guy that did the Turing machine, the original robot there, original thing, he says, according to that guy, AI could never outperform a human because of that obstacle of ambiguity totally disintegrating any type of, like, it can't build giant structures. It's nothing but a long language bot. It's just nothing but stem sentences in an array, a matrix that it can sift through and and build blocks, but it doesn't know what it's thinking. It's like the person that can read
Yeah.
perfectly, but they don't know what they're reading. Listen to him read. He reads perfectly, perfect diction. Yeah, dude, he doesn't know what he's reading. He knows how to make sounds. It'll always be like that, dude. And I know I have a friend from Denmark who's younger. He says, "Oh no, it'll get better." Yeah, but down a fragile tangential, it'll never get better robustly. It'll never be a stand-up single. It'll always be a tool, just like a gun. Unless you pull the trigger, it ain't killing nobody. It's just a tool. Oh no, but it goes up. Yeah, it goes on a long fucking batch file run. That's what it's doing. But it's just like it'll paint itself into a corner. There's no way it can say, "Oh, I made a mistake here." Even right now, dude, I just had like so my car died, and I asked Anthropic, "How long will it take it to charge it using this charger?" And it came back with this.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take 12 hours with that piece of shit. I said, "What?" I said, "This model number?" Oh, let me. It says, "Oh, I won't guess. Let me look." Why'd you guess in the first place? So, AI is kind of bullshit in the sense that it's lazy. Like I'll say, "Hey, can you modify this code?" And it'll say, "Here's what you do." I go, "No, I want you to rebuild the whole fucking thing." Oh, okay. Well, what are you, lazy now? We're trying to save me
That's
points. It's really weird, dude. And not to mention, what is AI's overall view is, to be polite, it has all these filters now because people are asking it, what's the best way to kill myself? Here you go. Oh, you're dead. Oh, we're going to sue Anthropic. So now it's got all these nanny fucking filters in there. It's hilarious. And then I asked it about this song. I said, "What do you think of these lyrics?" Anthropic says, "I'm sorry, can't read lyrics. It's copyright." What? It's just you and me, bitch. Just you and my $20 a month. What? You can't read that? You can't make sense of that? No. Copyright issues. So there's all sorts of snags. I kind of thought it would be magic at first when I asked it a question. I thought, this fucking thing's a moron. And it's always
yeah.
it's always complimenting me to keep me in the game.
That's ChatGPT, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, does that do that too? That's brilliant.
I know that ChatGPT was doing this,
Telling you how
and then
brilliant
yeah, how smart, and then I switched to Claude, and Claude is better. Claude is like
Claude,
more like a human.
yeah, Claude actually gave me. So I was writing code on ChatGPT, and it would come back with so many errors, dude. It would correct them, but I thought, this is ridiculous. And Claude's never
Yeah.
wrote. One time it wrote a bad code. That was it, because I asked it to turn a by into a cell script, and it left something out or something. But it's never compile flawlessly. Plus, Anthropic's on the cutting edge because they have that co-work, and I don't even know how that works. And they have this thing called code. I tried using that. I don't even know how it works. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing there. I was going to let it. The other kind of fallacy, I think, is that they're saying, "Well, have Claude do this, that, and the other thing." Dude, if it does all that you're saying, I need $100 a month program. There's no way on $20 a month it's gonna fucking do that. Sorry, I don't even know. If the only thing ChatGPT was doing, which I don't know, they had the thing called Sora or something, would do videos. I don't know if they do videos inside of Claude, but that was one thing that ChatGPT could do. It was kind of cute, but they were it's 5-second video. You're allowed 2 videos a month or something.
Yeah.
Still $20 a month, but yeah, the problem with ChatGPT, I said. So I had a fight. I don't know if it cares. It probably doesn't. I said at the end, I said, "Why am I paying you if you're getting all this shit wrong? Specs, this, not just the code. It got everything wrong." I said, it comes back with this big fucking long paragraph. "So you're right. You got me there. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, well, we're working on it. Well, it's not perfect." Oh, God. Stop. So I said, I quit. And the funny thing is that Claude never reached out and said, "Sorry, would you like to come back?" They didn't even. I'm sorry. ChatGPT is so shitty that they didn't even try to get my account back and say, "Sorry, yeah, we'll try to do better. You don't want to come back at a discount." Whereas Claude is just leaps and bounds.
It's like more.
They're so
like
cutting edge. Yeah, they're so cutting edge. They had to put a pause on Fable 5 because they said it was national
Yeah,
security
yeah.
risk.
Hmm.
So, but it's fascinating. Let's face it. I don't have the perfect prompts though. Apparently, I'm just I there's people making these prompts that have a master prompt. I deleted it. I don't know. I don't really want to tell it what to do. Besides, if you go on YouTube right now, you'll see people how to write prompts, and people are so deep into AI now, dude, that they got a whole fucking channel about it, and they're so deep in. I don't know what they're talking about, and I don't even know what I would do with it. In other words, Fable 5 may be the most genius fucking thing on the planet, but what am I going to ask it to do? Like, can you find out where Idaho's at? Like, what the fuck? I don't have anything that, and if I did, it'd probably choke all my tokens and I'd be broke. I don't know. I mean, have you ever used Fable 5? Have you ever uh, found a
Fable
problem so
5.
complicated that I guess I'd ask Fable 5, what's the meaning of life, right? I mean,
Hmm.
what is what is the point of some of these models? I mean, overkill, right?
Um, Honestly, these AIs, they learn from the internet, yeah, from the information in the internet, and they got so good at, for example, coding and stuff because yeah, everything is on the internet if you know how to look for it.
Isn't it learning
But
from you though? Isn't it kind of stealing your ideas in a way? Not stealing it, but I'm sure it's.
yeah,
If I have a good idea, do you think it notes it and says, "Oh, I'll put that in the file too"?
I don't know if you can if they can watch your videos, but
Yeah. I mean, I would be curious to what is the. It's so fast now. In 6 months from now, there'll be some new model.
yeah,
I guess
but
Grok has a model that can be like act like kind of a real bratty model that's just is like insulting you and stuff, like a personality model that's more fun. Whereas I suppose people on Claude are trying to get shit done right for their business and get their
mhm.
Python scripts and all these things. They want to get stuff written, but the entertainment value to me, um, I'm just fascinated what it would say about this. But I do see a bias in there. It has a liberal bias to me. I mention stuff and it's like, well, yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm too biased. Maybe I'm just against the bias they have.
There's not much information created every day in the internet, and I think they're gonna reach to a point where they will like stagnate, they won't get much better in the next 6 months
Yeah,
because